Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. Ahead of some of the biggest earnings reports set to come after market tonight, we're seeing North American stock futures. Little change this morning. We're back in negative territory ever so slightly after another record high performance for all three U.S. indexes yesterday. Coming up tonight, we'll get giants, including Google's parent Alphabet, Microsoft coming, Apple's coming, AMD tonight after market as well. So it should be exciting throughout the day surrounding those. As I mentioned, all three U.S. markets in record high territory at the end of the day yesterday. The Dow was up about 80 points. S&P added 0.25%. The NASDAQ, little changed. It was higher by 0.03%. From a macro standpoint, today we'll kick off the Federal Reserve's two-day meeting, always ended tomorrow, Wednesday, with the rate decision and statement from the Fed. So any developments coming from that will be key for the market both today and tomorrow. Tesla earnings on deck today as well. We'll talk about Tesla. Huge record quarter for Tesla, record deliveries. We'll talk about the revenue number as well. Chinese firms, on the other hand, to the downside again today, right across the board. Tech companies, EV makers, all back in negative territory once again. It's Tuesday, July 27th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. There we go. Look at how things stand at this point. Anyways, yeah, some red back on the board today. About 0.25% for the S&P, the Dow 0.3. Little change for the NASDAQ right now. The TSX futures here in Toronto pointing to the downside at this point as well. Brazil's open down 0.5%. Look at Bitcoin and Ethereum back in positive territory once again today, but very volatile 24 hours for cryptocurrency markets. We'll talk about that. Initially, Amazon talking about accepting. And then they come out and say, nah, we were just, well, I mean, they weren't joking, but they squashed that, guys. It was all just chatter on the internet. They are, however, still looking to hire a digital currency lead, apparently. So maybe where there is smoke, there's fire.
Well, possibly. Look, at the end of the day, like, it doesn't, them denying it just means it's not like it's not happening imminently, it's not happening right now, but it doesn't mean it's not going to happen in the future. As you said, they're still doing that, they're still making that higher, and that sort of was confirmed. I mean, the pullback you're getting is, I mean, we're back at 3,800, so it's not like it's not a bad thing. I think as long as we're holding that 34.5, 35,000 area, that's the big number after that 30 bounce, and I think that's what most people are going to be probably looking at for the new support. As you mentioned, we did get Tesla earnings. Actually pretty good, and we'll get into that a little bit here, but they're right back. I mean, of course, we're at 665, 666. We're just sort of gravitating towards this particular price range. It can't seem to break out, but the big boys are going to be aftermarket, like you said there, Brendan, and there's certainly a little bit more movement, I should say, in some of the Chinese names. They're some of the leaders in the pre-market once again, is they can't seem to get out of the headlines, or at least off of your gapper boards, because mostly to the downside, still seeing negative sentiment on most of the Chinese listed names. Going to be a fun one today for sure. We love those big earnings when they come through, and it should be a great one after market. Big Four, I mean, well, AMD is not really part of the Big Four, but AMD also reporting.
Yeah, AMD for sure is going to be a good one. It's already on our sticky note. If you want to find that, you can check it out. I just put it in the chat a couple times. Tesla, yeah, AMD's at the bottom there, 93.20. Let's take a pre-market break. But yeah, Tesla, I'm already in GE. A great report I thought was fantastic from GE, up that 2.94%. We're already long here in the 30s. We're just trying to play some dip buys. We will take out the top here when 1350 comes. Welcome to the show, guys. I mean, Tesla, and we will get over all the numbers, so we won't spoil it too much. But 2x revenue, guys, 2x. So we'll take that, and only up 1% right now. So it's going to be a slippery slope on this one. But yeah, we're super excited. It's 8:34. Which means you have a long time with us. So it should be a good trading day here. We're very, very excited. This is the biggest and baddest week, not of the year, but of the earnings season. A lot's coming through, and we'll see how we can trade them today.
Yeah, under an hour to go, guys, until we get to the market open for a Tuesday. Going to be an exciting one. Let's kick things off by heading over to the desk. A lot of people in green this morning, Miss V. Good morning.
Hey guys, good morning everyone. It's going to be a very busy and exciting day. Please enjoy your trading and the show, and make sure you like this video. Let's get it started, Brandon.
Let's indeed get it started, guys. We'll kick things off with a look at how traders here at Day Trade the World fared once again yesterday to start the week. More nice numbers coming out of the U.S. primarily. NASDAQ New York 64,030 here at number 2. Same story. A lot of people trading the same markets yesterday here at Day Trade the World. 14,000 coming out of the same NASDAQ New York. Some European action in the top 10 as well. So still lots of great opportunities and great numbers right across the board. So it's all about the tech sector today, tomorrow. We'll get some more as well later in the week with Facebook, I believe, Thursday. But we should focus today, guys, on some of these names. I mean, it's worth having a little bit of a talk here as far as trading the Apples of the world, the Microsofts of the world going into earnings versus after these numbers come out tonight.
The big difference with, I think, that group is, at least for a little bit, well, it's for a little while now, Apple's been the lagger, I guess, relative to the others. I mean, you know, like you said, Microsoft's going to be trading at all-time highs, and Google's already shown some ridiculous strength this year. Well, Apple, relatively speaking, is lagged. We haven't really broken back through that 150. This is going to be a key breakout spot. They also have the one thing about, you might see a bit of a drag down, or at least in terms of the guidance talking about the chip shortage and how it affects them, but they're front of the line. It's not nearly as bad for them as it's going to be for the automakers, and certainly hasn't been, and that's why I honestly think it's almost no chance, no path that we don't get a break of that 150. It's just a decent chance that you could actually see that before we get the earnings. Now, sometimes things go sideways throughout the session, but we're close enough that I think a test is going to be coming in for Apple. If you had to pick one of these to break out or break further out, I think it has to be Apple in this particular situation. That'll be the front of the mind for me. The market is basically, I mean, I want to say we're flat, but the ES is slightly to the downside here. So that could be the only drag. I mean, I'm with you, Sean. I thought GE had great numbers. My dip is between that 10 and 20 level. But either way, Tesla had good numbers as well, and it's not exactly, you know, blowing things out to the upside of 1%, and the pre-market has been rather weak. So I think that's leaning into why we haven't already made some kind of a test to the break here in Apple, because everyone's expecting big things from them. And I haven't seen anybody that doesn't think they're going to have monster numbers that essentially demand is going to be huge for them. And then we'll probably get some language on, you know, where things go from here, where it comes down to, you know, the car, which, is it a mover for them? I don't know, but I mean, they seem to win at everything they do. I'd love to see some updates along those lines. Apple, let's see 150 breakout. That's going to be the key number, line in the sand for just about everybody when you look at the chart.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm looking at Apple right here as well, and I think this is like a no-brainer play, guys. We've talked about Apple forever. I mean, it was a great trade down here at 126, 127, and those of you that know, you know, my situation and how I deal with my family and stuff like that, I've already got my kid investing in Apple, and he knows to buy it on every time it dips down, and you're going to be able to get a bid through 150 today. So I like the stock. It keeps on working. It's the best. It's not to trade, it's to hold. You should never, you know, if you need the capital, you can get out of some Apple. But the thing is, this is going to be a $200 name probably by Christmas. So, you know, you have a lot to go here with Apple. I would say get your money in now before it's too late. And then there goes GE again. So there it is, man. No Neil's waiting for a little bit lower. So am I. I'd love to load up on this thing. I mean, I would love to get a whole bunch down here, but we'll take advantage of any dips in GE. We believe in this story today, so here it is. We're already in the money. This 8 cents. It's a good trade. I'll take off maybe 10% right now, and that's how I trade. So we'll be scalping this thing through. I'll take a bigger trade, obviously, and now it's going to come back down. I'll take a bigger trade through 1350, and we'll see where we go. But GE, we have a whole bunch, man. Brendan, watchlist.tradertv.live for the watch list, and at TraderTV Sean for the sticky note. I'll put the link in the chat one more time.
Yeah, indeed. GE on both, Sean, today?
Yeah, it's on both watch list and sticky note, and just on here, man. We'll talk about it, but the quarter was so good. I mean, they also guided ahead, so I think GE today, being a $13 name, it's not going to be one of those names like Reddit gets on board with, right? I mean, there's so many stock available for sale here. It's not like this is a low float or anything like that. They're actually going to go the opposite way. They're going to go 8 for 1 the other way. So they're going to reduce their float, give you 1 share for every 8 that you own, and rocket this price up to about $100. So that's going to be happening. Well, close to that. That's going to be happening soon, and we'll watch GE today. I like it. I'm long, and I want to get longer.
All right, let's talk about another one here that gave you some opportunities earlier in the year. The daily chart has become a little bit of a choppy mess, but 3M, guys, we were discussing this back in, I guess it was maybe the spring, surrounding the 3D printing realm. The 3M is what I'm talking about. They raised their annual forecast, beat across the board as well. Not terribly active here so far this morning, but nice looking daily chart still. We came into 190, 192 and held back into this range, though, for 3M above 202.
3M might not be a day trade, but it's certainly a decent sentiment type of stock here. So a strong trading reaction to them today, I think, would be at least a positive sign for some of your more staple type names there, guys. And ultimately, it's only done 20,000 shares in the pre-market, so it's not like I can say, oh yeah, 3M. Well, let's be buyers at 190. Let's look at the chart. It's not going to be about that, or even finding potential breakouts. It's more along the lines of if we get a positive reaction in the market, we hold positivity here, like maybe get up like 1% or so on 3M. I think that's going to bode well as we go into earnings season, especially if you're looking at some of the other, I guess, staple names and more defensive names in the market. I think that'll be a good sign for those particular ones, as everyone's basically focused here on Apple's and the Apple's, AMD's, and the Microsofts of the world. Just very quickly, I want to get to this IG because it is making a bit of a move. So I think we should probably, I know a lot of people are looking at this one, and it is on our watch list, and it's not to jump around too much here, but when there's movement, we got to try to get to it. I just want to quickly point out that where it turned on the daily chart, this is 790 up here. You had a nice little top. There was a spike to like 820 or so, and then pre-market levels, we did have multiple tests of that particular price. You can see some late printing in the dark up at that price, but really we've had 3 successive tests of that level. Last one at 8 o'clock down here at like 790, and now we're getting a bit of a flush down to some support. This is testing a 660 support right here that it put in at 7 a.m. So big level. This sets up for like an 8:30 or 9:30 rollover style trade, but it might not be at the high of the day. It would stand now at about like a 7:30 to 7:40 type of idea, where it might push 60 or 70 cents, 10%, and then maybe a bit of a failure. But EYEG, big mover, a few tests at that high, and now testing key support at 660.
I want to look. Some people asking me about SoFi here. Yeah, look, I mean, I like SoFi. This is a 20-minute chart. Yesterday in the afternoon, we held pretty good. This is a 20-minute. So yesterday we held pretty good. This 1540 level, 1550. That's where we're at right now. I mean, we tried to break 16. It didn't work. The other day we tried to break 17. It didn't work. So nice little movement here on the 20-minute is going to give us some good opportunities. I think that, again, what is the market today? So the NASDAQ is just positive and the S&P is down. I mean, back into 15 here. We got to wait for SoFi to come to 15. I think we'll put some bids down here. If we're lucky enough to get a bid down, we'll take it on SoFi. But I'm going to put some bids now. Thanks for bringing it to my attention. But this 15 looks pretty good. And then on the daily chart for SoFi, it's the same, if it even works. It's the same story for the SoFi Daily. There's yesterday's 1540 bottom. It's actually 1550 according to this. And then here's the SoFi chart. This is what I want to show you. We only have one day where we broke 15 so far. I mean, if you take 1490 out of the equation, but we went down to 1450 here. So there was one day where SoFi did take a little bit of a dump below that 15. So let's see if it can protect it today. I think, is it supposed to rain today? Because I'm getting like a little bit of a headache, which I normally get when it's a low ceiling. So we've already taken some ibuprofen. We'll be doing that. Oh yeah, where is it? And we will be taking, I forgot about this, what up, Shakib? We'll be also taking our vitamins here, but I'm gonna just check the weather out because I bet you it's calling for some kind of rain or a low ceiling. But we'll take SoFi near 15, guys. I'm gonna get that order ready.
Yeah, it's been such a wet July here in Toronto. Let's talk a couple things, actually. I wanted to mention this down here. HP Incorporated acquiring this Teradici, so heads up on HPQ. Teradici is a private company, Canadian at that. Also, guys, this EVGO. Remember last week this thing popped up, had a couple of big mover days back to 13. This was a former SPAC. It's been doing nothing but going down since it was converted. 13 was the high last week, but Evercore starting with a outperform rating on EVGO. So up nicely here, almost 5%. Not a lot of volume, but $12 important for this one.
Yeah, not a horrible. Oh, of course, my 15. The daily chart wants to freeze on me, so we'll go to the quick 15. I actually traded this one last. If you guys remember, they may not remember. A couple weeks ago, they had another big move here on the 15th. You had a big spike. It failed at a 1350 top. It then put in a lower high here at 1275. That's where we shorted that little comeback play. So you kind of get one of those where it does that spike, and then we sort of get in after it's already reversed. So I didn't actually catch it at the absolute top. But if you look at these same levels here, where I got out, and it's kind of tough to see, this is 1220. You're going to see a breakdown the next day at 1220. You're going to see support a couple of times at 1220, another breakdown. We're right testing that 1220 level here. So that's kind of a big level. If there was more volume in EVGO, certainly pre-market, it might be a look, but 20,000 shares, not exciting just yet. But if it breaks at 1220, you look at what happened last time, I'd hunt right back over to 1350 to see if that couldn't be that like God mode type of price. Otherwise, you'd be looking more like a 1275, 1280. So I'm looking for volume to spike in at the open on EVGO. We have some levels that we like because we did trade this one just about 10 days ago.
So here it is. So the Toronto weather. Last day of heat in Ontario could fuel thunderstorms Tuesday. So that's probably is what it is. But a nice little 22 degrees Celsius and feeling like 25 right now. And look, guys, overcast is the word I'm trying to do. So, okay, so I think I'm fine. Everything's fine. Okay, EVGO, I mean, I'm not even looking at these spaces. I mean, I don't like anything really in that space right now. There's so many more fish to fry over there. We will continue to look at Tesla today, as of course they had their earnings, and Neil just went over some levels there for EVGO, so not much else to do here. We are looking at the 660 level for Tesla, so that should be a play today as well, but Tesla right now is stuck in a range. I'm sure we'll talk about this more today as we go along with more Chinese names.
Another earnings name here, guys. FFIV up 7.3%. You can see they reported aftermarket yesterday, holding up around this 205 area. Looks like a positive report. For F5, if you remember, this is the one that we were talking about going back a week or so, involved with, I believe it was Zoom. Correct me if I'm wrong here, with FFIV.
I don't know. They design software and provider of different software marketing tools as well. So it would make sense if they were with Zoom. But they're already blasting. Like, I didn't even look at this name until you just brought it to our attention. Was this one on the watch list, or this was just an earnings play? I guess it was just an earnings play today. Nice volume here. It's already up to 206. That's going to be approaching all-time highs right now of this 218, 216, unless I'm wrong, unless it's been higher than that. No, it has not. So this is a big high for them. A nice report. Very, very light volume, 4,000 shares with a spread right now of $3. But yeah, breaking out. I mean, this is the story. Whenever you have earnings, we talked about this over and over again. This is the chart pattern you're looking for, right? I mean, it happened early on Apple. We found it on a bunch of different names, and here you go. Some consolidation here into earnings, and then an earnings beat, and it's off to the races, right? So if there's any sort of, like, I want you guys to tweet at me charts and things like that that look like this, where you're sort of baselining and you're just trying to take out the top, and then we get an earnings report, right? I mean, it wasn't the same thing with Snapchat, but if you looked at Snapchat, that was something that I was looking at when we called that huge, what was it, 28% or something, next day rally on Snapchat. And again, remember, like, it's not the same because it's a little bit greater, but it's between 60 and 68 here. So you had this like 10% back and forth. And then, and Snapchat was trading actually near the lower range here, right? But then we had that report, and then bang, and then we call this break of the high. So, I mean, this doesn't look too similar, but if you were just to sort of cut out this, and then you have this area here, and then you get a beat, and it explodes. I mean, I was not expecting it to, I was like thinking we could take out 73, not that we go to 80, but that's the kind of setup that you're looking for. So good beat there by F5, and I think that setup means we go longer, and F5 eventually takes out that 216. So FFIV for the win.
Just I know there will be confusion over this. It's 5.9 that had to deal with Zoom, and oddly enough, they're priced pretty similar. Like, it's that 5.9 sitting at $199. I mean, the chart not necessarily exactly the same, but I can definitely see at least a little bit of confusion there. So it's FIVN that has that deal with Zoom. So similar price stock, but not exactly the same. So just want to clear that one up for you guys.
Yeah, good catch. Let's go to some upgrades and downgrades here. We'll talk about some of the airlines back in positive territory or trying to get back to positive territory. If you remember, had a decent day yesterday for the travel names. Checkpoint on here. There's Tesla. It's worth mentioning there were a number of analyst moves on Tesla as per usual after the earnings. Snap back to the upside. More Chinese downgrades, guys. The entire side there to the downside.
Yeah. It's interesting. The education ones in particular are actually up 8% on, well, TKL's up 8%. EDU is also going to be to the upside when just about everything else I looked at was down. But let's keep in perspective. Up is a relative term. This thing has basically every single related Chinese name that had gapped down yesterday. They basically all spiked and broke out at the same time in the morning, and then you're getting a bit of a retracement all afternoon long. This stock gets through the low. I mean, watch out below like a $4 range, but there continues to be negative headwinds as you talked about there. So, obviously now another downgrade got put in on TAL. So we'll be watching this. I think after a spike like that, you start to look at that 6 and 615 area as certainly obvious resistance. But if this breaks the low of the day, I'll probably take another shot at it. 440 currently sits at the low. TAL was the weakest, was weaker than EDU on the first day of the drop. So that's why I would come to this name.
Yeah, and I'm actually adding, so right now you can see me as we do this live here, adding EDU 2-spot 2-1 break long. Here for EDU, and then I do like little cute things like this because trying to get everyone's attention. This rocket ship. You think it'll be a rocket ship? No, let's just put a check mark. Okay, so we're adding EDU long, so we'll put this in here. We've also added. We talked about GE. We added a few other ones here as well. So we'll put that in the chat for you guys to check out the Twitter board here. But here's why. So here's EDU right here. I do like what Neil was saying. We are up today, so that's a good move from 196 close up to 210 right now. And then this is 220 right here. I mean, it's 220, 221. I don't know why I put 221. But if you want to take the 220 break, that's fine as well. Obviously, you have some moving averages here, including the 100 moving average, which is going to be that red spot. And then it's 220. So, I mean, if we can get through yesterday's kind of pre-market issues here of that 220, and then here's a good little breaking spot right there. That was 220, which cascade down. It's not a great level, you know, maybe 225 is a little bit better, but so we'll go 221, and then if 221 works, probably 225 works as well. So right there, I do like that EDU, and then at some point, and you know I keep talking to Shakib here because yesterday was SOS, and I know he's big into some of these Chinese names as well, but look, man, I mean, at some point, we've been wrong. I mean, we've been wrong about Alibaba, but we're not getting any more money into this name. That's for sure, not right now. Our best play, well, not our best play, our latest play was getting some in here at 260, and then again in here at 212, and that's the only plays that I've made on Alibaba. I was really upset, and Randy's in the building right now. We were upset. I was upset when I missed this 220 break. And then it goes all the way to 320. So we missed that break there, and now I thought it was like, oh my God, we get another opportunity to buy it. So that's around where my average price is like 230, 240. So this is problem down to 185. But so I'm just going to hold out on it. Obviously, it's nowhere near a full position if I've only bought it twice in my life. But look at this. We are getting down here, down to 170. Like this goes all the way back to March of 2020, and something was happening at that time. I can't remember what it was. Oh yeah, the pandemic. So we're down near pandemic lows right now of Alibaba. So whether or not you like this name, I don't right now. I think there's more to come on the downside, but we're getting very, very close here to pulling the trigger on some more Alibaba shares at this point. This is the best Chinese name for me. Anyways, I mean, you could do some Tencent. You could do some JD, Billy. I mean, there's names. It's just where do we draw the line? And then do you really want to get your money involved when the government can do anything they want? They don't have the same securities laws over there, if any, in China. So be very, very careful with some of these names. But Alibaba is one to have your eye on.
All right, a couple other things to talk about here. We mentioned Hasbro yesterday. I also wanted to mention Boston Scientific, guys. If we can grab this, Robbie, we'll have a look at Hasbro here in a second. But Boston Scientific, BSX, they make those robot dogs that can open doors and are probably going to take over the world. They beat Q2 profit and sales, so BSX not doing a lot of volume. But Hasbro, remember, had a pretty good day yesterday after an earnings beat as well. Multiple, and I'm talking about like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, including JP Morgan, multiple price target increases on HAS, guys. Nice day yesterday for this one.
Yeah, definitely a good day. When you get a breakout like they had and through like a 101.26, look, obviously you can see, maybe you can't see the volume spike. Look, earnings events are going to be the key. You get a breakout. It's only going to be worth trading after this. I think if we get any kind of a dip back to previous resistance levels, I mean, you get like that 101 and maybe a chance to snap back in here on a stock which is breaking out. I say almost like, why not? But it'll never be a pre-market style trade. I can tell you 74-cent spread on Hasbro. So, you wanted to get in right now, like you're staring almost a full percent that you're out of the money if you were to buy it off of the offer. And that's why it's not necessarily a stock that you want to trade in the pre-market. But hey, if we snap back in and you can catch along somewhere in this, you have some wicks up at a 101, but 100 is more of a reasonable price target. Somewhere in that price range, I think is a nice little dip, especially when you catch a breakout like that. Toys are a good game to be in, man. And that's just the reality. They got a lot of fantastic names in their lineup. My brother's an animator, so he's a big Hasbro guy. And he loves them. So I kind of by default love them as well, even though I never managed to buy shares in the company. Certainly that's been a winning formula. Let's see if there isn't a dip that we can look at in the morning if the market starts to come back in here and you can pick up a value.
I think if you pull it out, Neil, it hasn't really been a winning formula, Hasbro, all the way back to if you're holding it from like. It's been a pretty bad investment, obviously off. I mean, look at this. That's this is where you make this opportunity. I mean, obviously there'd be better names to buy down here, but like Hasbro shouldn't have fallen like in this pandemic. Like that's a great low, $44. But look at this, man. It's been doing absolutely nothing basically for a year or so. But this would be something where I would expect you guys to look at this chart and see what we're talking about, where you get this breakout here above. But then today on Hasbro, obviously, like what Neil was just saying there, nothing really going on with Hasbro today, down to 102. So the breakout happens, but then it's just right back in. So I like this for a breakout. I mean, even if we get going, I think 110, if you go back to 2019, then you could get up to 125 maybe, which would be nice on any of those breaks. But this is a great looking chart. I mean, you have the 50-period moving average right back here to 95. So if you want to be I mean, I hope they give a sweet dividend because otherwise not really that investable. But right here, a nice little bottom of 100. You can grab that. 95 or so is a nice little spot if you get back in like we were saying. But right now, yeah, 13,000 shares. I don't actually mind this spread. You can probably close this, but right now it's printing 102. So yeah, probably comes back in. The chart looks really sweet here for Hasbro if you are playing the breakout and you do like the long on toys. So I think
they're a reasonable dividend, 2.5.
2.5, so yeah, not bad. We would take that. You know another name though, I think? Let's look at Mattel. This could be much better. I mean, this is just because it's, yeah, see? You see what I'm saying here? So this is why Hasbro, you don't really, I'd rather be in a Mattel, obviously. And this could break up as well. We'll see what happens. I mean, they could have a lot more downside risk than Hasbro does. But Mattel right here, not bad. But yeah, 2.5 dividend is nice there for Hasbro to get your money in on that one. But toys, always nice.
All right, let's get into everything else that we need to know about in the pre-market. Guys, if you are looking for our morning note, we send it out every single morning before we come on at 8:30. That is the link. You register with any email, and you have access to our research. Again, every single morning, absolutely free to you. Let's talk about Tesla, guys. First time ever over $1 billion in revenue for the quarter. Record deliveries. I mean, it's pretty hard to find anything negative about this.
Look, I didn't see anything too negative in there. Like, they can talk all they want about the impairment, the $23 million. And I'm only chuckling over that small impairment because they took a rather large Bitcoin position, as everyone seems to know, and everyone's sort of preoccupied with that. And they actually booked, I think, $120 million worth of profit at some point. They did in the first Q there. It's only interesting to me that they're actually selling this one off because I thought it was fantastic. But on the daily chart, and we talked about this yesterday. Whoops, we're not split adjusted, so I can't go back too far. we talked about this, that you've been in this sort of like lower high formation. So it's really important that we hold up, at least in the next few days, here above maybe the 50 period or 640, whichever of those levels you like. I like 636. I mean, that was one for a breakout. So really important that we hold above this level in the next few weeks. If we do that, then I think we're primed for that breakout of 700. But before we get to 700, I got 687 as a resistance level. I want to buy the dip. I actually have 655 written down today to look for a bit of a dip in Tesla, just going back into yesterday's action. There was a nice little floor on a bit of a pullback here at 655. So I want to be buying any weakness that we see in Tesla. To get to that 687, it's going to require a breakout through the top. But overall, I just look at how G's reacted, the market being flat, with how Tesla's reacted here in the pre-market, and kind of feel like there could be some selling coming into the morning. That's just the way it feels so far. So that's the way I want to play it. I'm looking 655 dip buy. Any breakout, any long that I have, I think 687 is the ultimate target for today. I'm not sure we get to 700. I don't think that's a controversial thing to say, given that we're only up 1% and not exactly looking super strong in the pre-market. That would be a big move for Tesla. It'd be fantastic if they did it. I'm not sure what would happen today. I did get into that, and we'll probably, it's on the watch list, observe Obsiva, sorry. OBSV, I am in the short for that. It broke 315 after breaking a 320 support level. I got 09s to the south side there. So that's a small cap gapping up and then consolidating lower. So I am in that short position, but I'm looking to buy dips in Tesla to 655.
Okay, what is working right now? We'll start spinning some money out, and it's nice to see people in the chat as well in this GE trade. We just took some out at 43, so our first stop there, 38. We talked about that early, that we would take it out. So we're out at 10% of the trade right now. So, and then more out at 43. Let's just check quickly on the imbalance locator here. Nothing. So we got, EDU's a buy. So we're already going long through 220. We talked about that. I don't even see, there's GE. So these are small numbers, so we're not going to be worried about that. Yeah, and so Tesla today, look, great quarter. Neil just talked about it. It is on our sticky note. I've been tweeting that out or putting it on the chat there and tweeting out some new ideas as well. So the sticky note has more things added, so please click it. Look, long back to 655 would be pretty sweet. That's into this area here yesterday, and that's kind of where I'm looking. If we can get a long back into 655, which is yesterday's consolidation before the earnings came out, and we touched high 678. But remember what I was saying yesterday? Like the implied move was like 5 to 7%, something like that on Tesla. And we only got 1.26%. So options and all that are not going to be printing today. So I'm not sure where the volume's going to come from. It's only done 400,000 shares, which isn't bad. 40-cent spread is nice as well. So the liquidity's here, so that's good. But I'm looking for a bid down here to 655. And then if we take out like 652, 650, maybe even just hold it all the way, then you can get out of that one. But we'll wait to see what happens here with Tesla today. And then I wrote down a break of 675 would be something to go. So 675 is, again, all the way back up here. It doesn't look like that's going to be happening, but a bid down here in the 655 range is nice. There goes GE, still heading to the upside right now. We'll talk about that soon, but 1343 with a nice 12-cent win to start the day.
All right, let's bring in Arun here and have a look at the overall market. We'll check out the futures and see what we need to be aware of this morning. After yet another record high yesterday, Arun, what are we looking at today?
It's interesting that these markets, what's happening is the majority of the volatile moves or the big moves are happening in the pre-market, overnight market. And then once we open, we kind of get quiet. Happened yesterday. I was expecting a lot in terms of movement, and we went really quiet. Today, maybe we take a shot at the highs again. It's a matter of how much volume do we have to keep on sustaining this upside move, right? You need more buyers to come in. And I imagine there's a lot of hesitation to keep pushing new prices in without some information. The information being, well, Apple, Microsoft, Google, the big heavyweight earnings coming out this week is going to be pretty big in terms of earnings. So I think that'll close the book on how this market wants to react going into the rest of the summer. This is going to be the week that's going to declare the future direction for at least for August anyways. So just keep an eye on how we trade, especially towards the close of the day with, especially in the NASDAQ futures, just because the weight's a little heavier. Those three tech weights are much bigger. towards the NASDAQ in terms of prices and influence versus the S&P. So I'm seeing Microsoft is at just after 4:05 and Google is at 4 o'clock, I believe. So those are going to be the two big ones. Apple always reports well after the markets close, 4:30 typically. So that's not going to be much of an issue for today until tomorrow morning, or even if you want to trade futures in the aftermarket session after it reopens at 6 p.m. That's a completely different issue in itself. Now for today, 44.20, I've got a level to the upside, 43.70, same level from yesterday. Couple areas to work with, but given what I'm expecting, or given what is expected towards the end of the day, a lot of these breakout trades, I'm going to wait. I want to see how this market reacts before I push any capital towards it. I don't want to rush anything, because I think this is going to set the tone for the rest of the summer, right? That these big tech earnings, these big influence, the big influence that these stocks have in these indexes will be declared today. So we're just going to wait for that. Maybe we can get some volatility to close out the month. But for now, I am going to be a little bit patient with the two levels that I marked off for you guys.
All right, good stuff. Thanks, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning. Let's continue along, guys, with what we need to know heading towards the open. Chinese stocks back under pressure, as we said this morning. Wow, I just brought up Baidu down 4.5% once again this morning. I mean, there's a long list that have kind of fallen under this category, guys, as the Chinese government continues with their crackdown on tech stocks, on these EV makers. I mean, pick one. They're all under pressure once again.
Yeah, and I think it showed a higher time frame chart, and Sean's looking at EDU, TAL, EDU. Those are the education names. Just to quickly show what happened in the afternoon yesterday. This is a nice little turnaround point here at about 510. On TAL specifically, I know they're up that 9%. If it ever breaks that 4, I mean, you certainly got to watch out below. But gapping actually up on the session. I didn't see any of the other Chinese listed names other than the education ones looking strong this morning. So guys, let me know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I was looking just across the board, and it looked like it was just TL, EDU, and I forget the other one. There was a third. Beginning with a G. But TL is the one I'm looking at here. You have a 5 break. If you have a 5-10 level, those are two big ones. I think, like I said, if it gets towards yesterday's highs, there was just such a flush off the top. I think that's a nice little area to be in the short side of the trade. But it's one of those situations where look where it came from. Yeah, like that's what the chart looks like. It's a little bit extreme, obviously, here, but you saw the momentum to the upside that it had yesterday. Would I short at the top? Absolutely. If I got to look at 6.25 on TAL or even $6, I'd probably be all over it. But you look at that 5 and that 510 that do stand out there on the lower time frame. I don't think there's necessarily going to be huge trades in like your Alibabas of the world, but DD, on the other hand, has a somewhat similar setup. It's actually flat on the session, but that's because of the action in the pre-market. If you were to look for a break, it's just not nearly as clean, right? Like you can look at the top here at 8:15, but there was a lot of chop between that and 8:30 in the afternoon action. If you just look at EDU and TAL, they have a little bit more of a clean setup, I think, if you're going to get another push to the upside. DD also had a big breakout as well. It just, and the others fell a lot further back in, giving them more room to break out as opposed to DD, which is, if you look at in the afternoon, more or less going sideways off of those levels.
Yeah, actually, my chart's actually loaded up yesterday with DD. DD was one of the big trades for me yesterday, where we hit this short at 825 and it went all the way down here to 780. We didn't cover any, but we got some out 10s, 12s, and then again the last, or even lower than that, with our last one at 804 there. So that was a big trade for us. I actually like a DD break long here at 840 if we can get going. But the fact that we're not really down that much today is nice. So 840 on the long there, because you got to get through all of this. Like I can't go long here like 820, because then I feel like it will run into a problem at 830 maybe. So let's just make sure that we got it. It's the same kind of trade here. We missed this 50 break, which was horrible. That was about as clear as day right there, that this 50 break. So I had to wait. I like to trade 50s, quarters, and O's. So and 75s, anything quarters. So we wait for 825 and then get paid off. So the same thing here. Normally I would say wait again for 825, but I just worried about some of this stuff here because it went against me a little, not against me, but it went up here to about 833, 8 or so pennies against me there. So I just feel like if I go long, this would be a really, really tight scalp if you take an 8 break, but I'm hoping that we can get this blown to the top side there. And then look, hopefully my trades load up. They don't. was gonna say, hopefully my trades load up yesterday from NEO because it's the same kind of play. We absolutely destroyed this. So yesterday, we'll go diamond hands for as far as I'm concerned. We had about a $2 winner here. Getting out of NEO, getting long. We have a long. How can I like force these trades to come back? Maybe if I go, okay, go back to one. DD. You see how my DD trades are got missing from yesterday. They're still not here. Okay. But anyways, we were long NEO off that, so we're looking to do the same thing today. If we can get long back in here, 4180, 4190, something like that, we'll take that, and then we'll try to defend it all the way back down, NIO, right down here to this 4050 level. I mean, you don't want to hold something that long against you, but this is a 40.50 bottom that happened on the 19th and 20th. So we're going to watch out for that while pre-market in the 19th, basically. So right there, 40.50 is a level that we'll look at for NIO. I think everything needs to be bought, but someone said it on the chat, and I agreed with them, is that if Tesla can go, then NEO will go. If Tesla starts to go downside, then that's just not going to be good for the EV space, right? So we got to be very, very careful and try to protect some of the bottoms here. So we're going to watch NEO and Tesla together, but that's it. I've already done rewind to about 8:45. I did a little talk on Alibaba on that one, but now looking at that Billy that you called up as well there, Brendan. I mean, there's a whole bunch of names that are way, way low, and I don't think they're investable yet. We got to wait for some better news.
Yeah, it's pretty negative still. I mean, the Chinese markets, guys, down 2 days in a row, 5+%. So the entire market's getting cracked over there. Let's talk UPS, one that Mark Roberts had mentioned yesterday. He was watching it for earnings. Just a heads up, the conference call on right now for UPS, and this just happened, guys. So we just went 206 to 194. We're trying to get through some significant levels over here on the daily chart. It was their forecast that was a little bit suspect. Margin forecast and their guidance disappointing. They're also talking about the second half of the year. Revenue growth remains to be seen because of COVID.
Yeah, so sometimes it's not about just beating on EPS. That's the reality. Listen to those calls, and it's a good learning experience. When you're trading or looking at anything off of earnings, have a knowledge of when that conference call is going to be. I probably said it every single time. It's been a big move when there is a call and we're talking to you guys, that I got caught on one of these once, and it's not a heck of a lot of fun. When you're trading off of levels and you're trading based on technicals and you think you're trading post earnings and everything is working out just fine, and you're in position during a conference call, and then something gets said that moves the stock, and then none of your levels mean anything at that point. This is what's going to happen. It just broke through what was going to be, and I wasn't looking at a heck of a lot of anything on this except for maybe that 195 level that we're basically chewing through right now into the call. I don't know that we're going to get too much action through this, but certainly without digesting too much of what's going on in that particular call, this would be a bit of a bellwether, I think, for the next couple of quarters here. But UPS, yeah, and anytime you can't break through highs and you see a stock that lacks that impetus to be able to break through, sometimes you get the reverse. And we talked about this with, back when it was Micron in this sort of position. We talked about this with some of the banks when they were in this position, when they reported, and UPS kind of finds himself in that same road to go. Like if you don't break out, even if it's solid numbers, like the smallest kink in the armor there when you're priced at highs. And this is what can happen to you in UPS. And it doesn't necessarily have the hype or the momentum that's going to be behind it here today. If it had been a falling sword, I might have liked this one, at the open without the call pushing us here in the pre-market. I would have liked that at 9:30 to maybe test a level like that. We're already breaking through it. It's a good hold if it gets through 195. Like maybe there'll be something actionable, but I'll be hands off UPS after that look on the call.
Yeah, and I just want to go over here, and this is what I'll try to bring to the table here. Look at this, FedEx. So I would rather own FedEx than UPS. And FedEx dropping on that report as well. So here we go. So you could catch some pin action. And here's FedEx right now. This is like...
Yeah, that's a better look.
Pretty sweet, right? So we'll look to see FedEx here dropping back down today into this bottom of the range. I mean, FedEx has just been a monster. A monster. Like, I can't believe the way this acted in 2020. I mean, such a great movement to the upside. I mean, you want to talk about like saying, hold my beer off COVID lows. I mean, this thing was going 165 and then the pandemic hit. And then look what happened once it came back to 165. It was just like, see ya. And then you doubled up to 310 or so. Close enough to a double. And then, oh, there it goes. There's the double. The double comes there at 320 or so. And then now you're dropping back in. So, hey, you know, if you wanted to trade this name, I think this is a good spot. Now a good time to get into FedEx. I will be buying either UPS or FedEx if these falls continue. So I do like both names. And then GE, it's only 9:15 right now, so there's lots of time still. Let's just check out the imbalance locator. EDU, we're still looking at a 220 break. Alibaba, I mean, where will the bottom come through? We keep talking about that one as there's another tick down here on Alibaba. Forget about that was a day chart. We already know how disastrous that is. But I said yesterday I was there watching. My kid yesterday started hockey. So I was there at the park, and I just said, like, let's try to short some Chinese names. And I mean, today Alibaba just continues to go to the downside here. So I don't want to pick this up anywhere, but continuing downside moves here for Alibaba. And
there's a price that at some point, like, come on, give me a break.
Yeah, I mean,
if this thing gets to 150, I mean, come on, what are we talking about here?
Oh, 150, yeah. I mean,
like, what are we talking about? Like, you have to.
I'm not sure if we get to 150. But Alibaba right now, 600,000 shares to sell. So the biggest and baddest name. There's nothing else even close to on here like Alibaba, guys, because $2 stock, $4 stock, $13 stock, like $40 stock, $2. Like there's nothing here that adds up notionally to the same amount as Alibaba. So this is under pressure today. Maybe if you get a 184 break off open, maybe the pressure will be relieved a little bit. But for right now, Alibaba to the downside, I may take a 184 break. Let's see how it is closer to 930.
All right, let's talk about General Electric. GE posting a 9% bump in revenue, which was a surprise. Positive to the upside, obviously. 5 cents per share on the EPS side of things. 18.28 billion, so 9% year over year for the quarter. Still a loss, though, but much better than expected here.
We have GE right now, so we'll take this one. An absolutely great quarter. We've already crushed it a little bit here today. I mean, crushed it. We haven't crushed it. We're out at 10% of the trade, but we do like GE here today. And the thing is that they're going to go reverse split 1 to 8 on August 2nd. So this Friday is the last time you're going to be able to buy GE with a 1 handle on it, because it's going to go 1 to 8. So, 13 times 8, like I said, $100 name. So this will be a $100 stock on Monday. So a week yesterday. So in 4 to 5 trading days, this name goes to $104 at current prices. So we'll see where it, or 106, I guess, if you take the 38 cents and times that by 8. But you're going to go to the upside right now with GE, I think, here today. I'm a little bit nervous about that reverse split. At least it's the other way around and not a stock split the traditional way, where they generally split to get the price down, make it more attractive for investors, like something that NVIDIA did. 1 to 8 the other way is fine. I just wonder if at $105, it's like a little bit more room to come down. They're just doing that to get their share float back in order. So we're going to wait to see what happens with GE here, but it's going to be a big stock come Tuesday or come Monday, August 2nd. So there were some people asking me on the chat about that. So that's what that means. But for right now, for a day trade, man, I mean, I love GE right now. 5.5 million shares, lots of volume. You have some protection down here at 13. Here's a daily, a 20-minute chart. We broke out. So we broke past this 1310. Any longs back in there is gold. Obviously, we have some bids back there. So if we can flush on the daily, today on the morning, we'll get some more longs. But I like GE on the daily chart. It doesn't look good on the daily chart. There's no doubt about that. It's been a pretty dull investment. Like I said, the last time I bought this was honestly so long ago at $5. That it was literally like 2008, something like that, 2009, when this name went all the way down there. And we've since then just been in a dog the whole time. We did cash them out when it was back in the 20s, but right now GE, like you could have had it. I mean, they've done splits and everything like that since then, but you were just at $6 back in September, right? And now you're all the way back upside. So look at this. This is a double on GE since last September. So, a big move upside. Is it overdone? Maybe, but I like GE here today for a day trade.
No, I love it for day trade. I mean, you can even go back to those March levels before COVID, and that's where that 1325 comes from. So it dips down to that price, going to be all over it. The only good thing I'll say about having gotten into GE recently, it was just to take some money off the table in Boeing and stay somewhat in the same type of sector and same type of play. And it's done better than Boeing since selling that at 250, but it hasn't done a heck of a lot. OGEN, I know a lot of you guys are looking at this, so I know we only have like 10 or 11 minutes to go to the open, and it didn't make the watch list here. They did have a COVID tech license agreement here. It broke $1, so it wasn't a penny stock for, I don't know, like a couple of minutes here this morning. And if you do look, there was some resistance at about like 95 cents. If you want to look back here at the daily chart, which I am. So that's one level to look at. We're back below that buck. This does set up for a potential, like 930 rollover type of deal. I'd love it if it was actually consolidating below 95. Like that would be a much better look. When I look at the daily, see that 95-cent range. If it was below there and then spiking, that'd be a bit more bearish. Someone had asked, did you see who was selling at 104, 105? I did not. That leads me to believe that there was probably a big offer sitting at 104, 105. I don't see anything there. But based on that idea, that's kind of why, if there's something there could be a bit of a rollover trade at that 105. Room to run to the upside for OGen. I mean, it's up 55%. It's got a lot of liquidity in there, so it's got big orders to chew through. But there is room to run if we actually get through that 105. At least to like this 120, 125 level. So there is still some room on a breakout at 105. But some people were saying that there was an offer there. I didn't see it at 105, but if there's something there, my first look at 930 would be that rollover trade.
All right, let's go to crypto land. Some of these names active again in the pre-market, including Coinbase here, still negative on the session. But Bitcoin, guys, trying to get back above 38,000 currently and hold above 38,000. Coin's still down 1.4%. I mean, we can look at anything related to the crypto markets. Had this kind of huge sell-off late in the day yesterday. Again, Amazon coming out denying the rumors that they were going to start accepting Bitcoin for payment, but they did still leave that job posting out there talking about a digital currency lead, guys.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, give me a break, Bezos. Honestly, you're going to accept Bitcoin. You're going to accept everything. I mean, it's the way of the future. So just stop fighting it. Honestly, it's ridiculous that we have to actually put up with this crap. To be honest with you, because everyone's going to accept Bitcoin. It's the way of the future. It is what it is. Everyone's already accepting it. I mean, you can add funds on PayPal, convert it to cash. I'm sure you could do that on Square, Webull, everything. It's like it's already here. But would it be nice if obviously Amazon came out and said, "Yay for Bitcoin"? Yes. It would be really nice if they were to come out and say that, and they will at some point. So it's just a matter of trying to pick up some of these equities at low valuations. Yesterday, SOS had some nice volume to it as well. Gets up to this 312 mark. BTBT yesterday. Oops, BTBT yesterday was a good one. Is that a NASDAQ name? Must be a New York name. No, NASDAQ. Okay. BTBT had some nice volume up to what, 8 and change yesterday? Oh, sorry, 9 and change yesterday. My bad. 940 yesterday before dumping in the afternoon on that late move on the Bitcoin. But the thing about BTC is that you're not going to be able to stop this thing. We've already talked about that over and over again. Just a matter of picking it up on every dip if you believe in it. And I mean, look at this. Yesterday's run to 40,500 was stopped almost immediately there in the afternoon when we were live on the air. We were talking about this move coming back down. And I even said yesterday on the air, oh, it looks like that post was not real, but the post was real. But then Amazon came out and said that they're not looking to do that. But look at this. It goes down to 36.5, and now you're almost all the way back. So I'd expect a retest of 40 and then a break of this 4,500 at some point. So look, I'm super, super bullish on Bitcoin. I think you got to be at these levels for sure, at least looking to add if you haven't. I'm already in this. I'm going to be adding some other names. You guys know what they are. Some Cardano. I like some Polygon or some Matic at these levels as well. There's something called Algorand as well that we've been looking at in my own personal portfolios. And then, of course, Ethereum. So look, I want to get some serious cash in, so I am looking for, a monster dip. I don't know if that's going to happen. We're already sort of halfway through summer, so a lot of the talk about the crypto winter and things like that is right now. So we'll see how that goes. And I got to be a buyer heading into the fall and into our winter because I think crypto is going to moon at some point again and retest that 65.
Yeah, under the assumption that a lot of people were talking about, short squeezes and leverage works both ways. We talked about that yesterday. If that is the case and we slide back to the downside, I'm looking 34.5, 3,500. Now, we talked about SOS in yesterday's action. If you watched the afternoon show, you know that we're shorting at that top. It's not, look, this is not obvious it's not overly cryptic about why we're looking at that 3 to 315 short. You did have on the 22nd here, big rollover at that price. We tested in the morning up at those levels and then flush when it gave us a chance at those levels again on SOS in the afternoon. It was the same thing. It didn't follow through till after market. It had to be flat, so the bigger wins didn't come unless you held it either overnight or hold it into the aftermarket. But if we get anywhere near that 3 to 310 area, SOS turns into a sell for me, which is usually the way I would play it to the south side if you're looking overall at that market. I got into this IG. I think we're going to go to Brennan just a quick segment. I got into IG that bounced off of that 640 level and making some lower highs. That's also on the watch list. Brendo?
Yeah, it is. IG, guys, there's also this one, OBSV, 21% still. But, I mean, this looks like it's in trouble already. It can't even get back above 310. So, I mean, if you go to the daily chart, there's a couple of things to make note of. 335 to 330, there's a couple of tops that kind of correspond with that level. So if we get anywhere back close to 335, 330, that would be a great spot. Above that, it got to 355 in the pre-market here. Otherwise, we were trading down around 250 yesterday for OBSV.
Yeah, OBSV, I'm actually trying to get a quarter of it out here in front of $3, but I just mentioned that EYEG, guys. iGate Pharmaceuticals, they're a micro-cap company, by the way, guys. So they had news yesterday's action, and they got into a non-binding agreement with like Bayon or something along those lines, and they made a bit of an executive change. But I just, look, anytime you get that spike up, we call it that 7 a.m. retail bounce. It failed at 810. That's also a big level in the daily chart, 790 a level. It put in a lower high there. It tested it one more time at 8 o'clock before rolling over. Now it's bounced off pre-market lows here, 6/4 a couple of times. It is set up for that rollover for 930, but I am in off of this cluster. It was a previous support level that got broken. So 673, like right in that 3/4 range to the short side. If we pop up, I'm looking squarely at about 730 where that rollover trade will get put on. And we already just went over observed. But with 5 minutes to go, I will apologize in advance. I don't have any of my fun little graphics today, so I'll just have to yell and ask these guys to hit them for me every now and then. I'm sure Sean will do a fantastic job, of course, getting into you. Tesla making a bit of a bounce off 661. Obviously was looking for a dip at 655, as you guys know. I actually have an order out here just in case we get that flush, which does not appear that it is imminent by any stretch of the imagination, and I don't think we covered it. Hey, when it moves, we'll talk about it. AMC is down 1%, but just dropped about 50 cents a little bit here. There is an interesting level that could come into play if it were to take out this 41 yesterday. It was a high yesterday, and then pre-market level at 41 as well on AMC.
Technologies, guys, worth a look here. XELA, one that was at one point considered a meme stock, if you remember, going back a couple of weeks ago. This thing got all the way up to 540, but we're back under 3 here. Looking positive in the pre-market, though. There was actual news on XELA today. They were talking about much higher subscriptions to one of their software platforms than had been expected or forecast prior. So 16%, guys, for the old favorite here, XELA.
Ye old favorite, Zila. You know what we like about Zila. $3 looks pretty interesting. There were some obvious failed breaks at 3. If you go back into last week's action, I think it was Wednesday of last week. But since then, 3 has been, I guess, the roof. It's trying to take the roof off here. I think it does have to get through 315 before you get any kind of a bigger run. And this stock is, trying to, it already did consolidate and give you a little bit of a bounce off the low. The key thing would be, if you want to be bullish, is 265 hold. That was a big level for a cluster before. If we can hold that in a dip, I think the bulls, the Zila bulls, will be a little bit happy about it. But this one got beat up rather heavily. For me, I am looking, like I said, I'm looking at that AMC. Lucid Motors, for those of you that do not know, CCIV, now LCID, so if you're wondering where it went to, it's not gone. It's LCID over on the NASDAQ. It just made a big spike into that 2750 area without breaking it, so no trigger on that. And I don't like catching fills on breakouts that make parabolic moves into it like this in the pre-market, so I'm kind of glad I hadn't put my order in. It's kind of an ugly way to get that fill. If it dips back down, though, I'll tell you this much. I'm looking at this 2665, and I can now catch that on Lucid. I'll go for the dip buy on Lucid Motors here. IG sliding down in the money. I might not get the add to that position, as it's now 30 cents in the money. I thought it might pop up for me to be able to add to that short.
I also like this 93.20 break right here on AMD. So again, that's on the sticky note. And I went and got, we'll hit the fruit salad salad thing eventually. Went and got some fruit salad and situation solved. It is raining outside right now and overcast. So the head does not lie. It can always tell when there is bad weather. So, okay, 93.20 right now. I like that break. We've talked about AM, so from AMD to AMC, we only have about a minute left to ring the bell. So this is gonna be a 41 break. We talked about that. If it continues to drop down, we'll find some areas of concern down there. And I told Dan that I'd show the imbalance locator, so I gotta do it quickly here. Okay, so GE, million to buy, so that's stepping up. BABA, big sell. NASDAQ, the only NASDAQ name on this list. NXTD, so I don't even know what that is. So we'll find out next trade, something like that. But that's it. A lot of Asian names on here. Chinese, the education names are on here, as well as, of course, as Alibaba, which is making that 183 low. So get ready to rock and roll. That's the imbalance locator. There it is, Dan. Man of my words. So there's your locator there, Dan, but we got to get ready to go here. This is BABA, so 184 we kind of liked there on a break. Maybe we'll take that small, but it looks like it's going to happen right now, so that's not great. But we'll wait for Alibaba to go.
Yeah, I don't always add things at the end of the list. Thank you guys for pointing this one out. FLGC on the move, just now breaking out a little bit, but we'll do some diligence on that. But with about 20 seconds to go, my eyes will be on Tesla, IG, and of course OBSV. I can't hit the countdown, but it's time to get going here. OGEN is another one to watch off of the open. With 10 seconds to go, it is the big earnings day to be sure. We'll see what happens after market, but OGEN holding below that 95, so that's a key price. 3, 2, and 1. Randy's on the bell. Randy.
All right.
Where did he come from?
He's here somewhere. He's always here. Okay, so 184. So we are now long Alibaba. We are long AMD through the top here. So let's see where we can go. Whoops, I just closed my summary window. So now it's coming right back up. Let's go. Alibaba. There it is. Already, guys. Already a nice little win for us on Alibaba. That's $1 we just took on Alibaba. 184 long, out there 185. That's already $1 win for BABA already. Alibaba, let's go.
And that IG already heading back into the downside. We tried to actually get more on that rollover. It just broke that low of the day, so I'm adding on the low break instead of taking off. But that one now sitting at $6. If we can get a lower break, I have a $6.50 average price here. If it breaks 6 even, this one could be headed back in. This is a double up already. IG's in the 100% club.
Okay, there we go, guys. Alibaba, now we're trying to make more gains off this trade as we buy the 183 bottoms. Let's see if we can get another fill on this one. Wow, we're monstrous today again, guys. AMD, guys, 40 cents now in the money. Rip, rip, rip. Day goal met. It's 9.31. GE 15 cents now in the money and making new highs, hopefully, coming through. Alibaba, run, little one, run. Oh, hell yeah, there it is. One of the calmest traders you'll find is back in the business one more time. And this is why we get emotional, because these are the plays that we're giving to you, and they are working. This is it. Look at this, 3 for 3, $1.80 in the money on Alibaba, 50 cents in the money on AMD. Let's go, baby.
And we just got IG, some of it out at $6. So we get that $6.75 first price. We add to it at $6.25. We start taking it off at $6. TAL also heading. I can't hit these graphics for the winners like you can, guys, but it is what it is. They're still making some nice moves. TAL, I don't know what EDU is doing, but I'm going to assume, like TAL is showing a little bit of strength. It broke that 5. I got 01s to the long side. I'm going to see if I can't scalp a little bit out here, 5.15. If this gets to 6.25, I already said I like the short if this thing gets to 6.25. But until we get there, we're just playing the strength, and the education names, for whatever reason, we're spiking up, so we're going to take advantage of it. That OBSV also heading southbound here, so we want to make sure we take. Well, we don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth on OBSV. I think that's one of those things that we always say over and over again. So as it spikes down to 287, I kind of did a little bit of that. Took some at 3. We're short from this area here, and then we got back in at a 310. I'll start covering down to the downside, but TL, my only long. Want to take some out at quarters, want to take some out at 50s, because at some point I am going short that Chinese company, but it's a long one for now, and it's working, so we'll hang on to it. It's a trap.
Oh, hell yeah, just... Wow. AMD, guys, like, if you guys want these stocks, like, Look at this, AMD up $1, well, almost $1. It just bounced off 94 there. We got some out at 79 there. We're long at 93.20. And again, all of these trades are right on this little list here, except for BOBA. We talked about BOBA in the pre-market. Now $3 in the money. It just went to this day high of this pre-market high of 186.50. That would have been a good spot to get some out. We're light now on it. So, I mean, I told you, like, if we were able to get any profits on Alibaba, we would take them. And then there's one bid, there's another bid, long, all the way upside. So that's a big trade there. Tesla comes back to 655 and we take that long on this dip. So we got to watch out for a 650 break. This one we're not going to the grave with. We'll see if Tesla can outperform today. But 650 is a good little level for me to get out if it does come through. What's up, Brendan?
Not a big mover, but nice story. So worth a mention, guys. Walmart actually heading downside right now, but they are going to pay 100% of college tuition and book costs for their associates. So good luck on Walmart, guys. Again, not really doing anything, but nice story.
Pretty cool. Good for them, man. It just got into that OGEN, by the way, as it tries to take it that. I got short at like 98 cents here. Sorry, 99 cents. It's trying to take it that 105. If it fails here, I'm going to take more shares in short. If it breaks, I'm going to be out. Pretty simple litmus here, guys. I mean, we talked about that 105 level. There wasn't a huge offer at that price. So like you guys were saying, there might have been a big seller. I didn't see it, so I'm just going to be out on that short, not adding to it in any shape or form, guys. And then back over to that IG. It is now down at 585. It's on the NASDAQ. It's now down at 585. It's still slowly heading into the downside. I wanted to short this one to add on a pop. It has not made any kind of an upward move just yet, but I am looking to add to it. I'm in Tesla as well. If we can hold 650, I might add to it, but looking pretty bearish on Tesla. And it's worth noting that while the education movers were to the upside, as far as the Chinese names goes, NIO made a push just like them, but has come back in. I'm guessing it has a little bit more to do with Tesla. If Tesla catches a 650 bid, and NIO wanted to make a move initially to that upside, the interesting level would be here at 42, which is also my favorite number.
Yeah, here we go. 650 is going to crack right now. We'll be out of Tesla once it does. It's just a big move to the downside right now for TSLA. So this one doesn't, okay, a bounce back there a little bit there as we talked about Tesla. So we've averaged into this one. So if we can, we'll take a little, there we go, take a little bit out right there, back at 50 there as we get back to flat on Tesla now to the upside. So let's see what it can do. We did take a little bit out there. Actually, we didn't get the right price. Oh, 653 is okay. I thought we got 653.50, but we didn't. So we got a little bit of a worse price there. So we'll watch out for our Tesla position as here comes Alibaba retesting those highs one more time. Neil mentioned NIO. I don't know why I didn't. Okay, yeah. So okay, the move was up. Okay, not down. So we are going to wait to average in if it does come to the downside. We're not in it, but we do want to try to pick up some low bids if possible on this name. So, and then EDU also, thanks for that. We talked about where was I going long on EDU? Oh, I guess I didn't have an order in. Yeah, I wanted to get long on EDU and I didn't. So we'll have to wait on that one. I don't know. I thought I had an order out for it. So now I have to do some more work and find out what price I was because I didn't even mark it down on here. But I think it was 220-ish. Or did I say 225? I think it was. Or 231. That's what it was. 231 on EDU. So I'll do some more work on that to double check. But see, it went right to that level and came right back down. So that makes sense to me. What's up, Brent?
Yeah, a few of these starting to go. JD.com just popping up here, guys, on monster volume at the open there. Just broke 65 for JD back to the upside.
And I just got to reload in that TAL. I mean, it tried to get past 530. I took some shares out there, 15s, 20s, tried to get 550s. It never quite went there. We'll buy it on the dip. If it gets back below that cluster, this cluster here, 495, I'll just cover the trade. I don't want to get caught too far offside on the Chinese education names, but hey, strength is strength, and I didn't want to be a shorter until 650s. IG continues its slide into the downside, so it's been a good one so far. There just has been no chance to add. I was on the bid at 551. Why would I sit at 551? I should have sit at like 555 or something. At 551, I did not catch that fill, but I don't want to look to give horse in the mouth too far. If this does come back up and pop, I'm looking at pre-market low, 625. That might be the area we can actually catch some. I got some more of Tesla. Once it's back above 655, then I'll start taking some off.
Okay, we are averaging in now into GE. Yeah, Tesla, let's ring that go. Reggie, man. Chicken dinner winner. $4 now in the money for Tesla. So let's see how far this one wants to go. Unfortunately, we don't have them all. We did get out there. I thought we got 50 cents better than that, but we didn't. So whatever. We're not going to cry over spilled milk. There goes Alibaba. I mean, you guys want to be on some winning trades here today, guys? Let's just go. Congratulations. Because there goes Alibaba, man. Look at this. $3 winner, Tesla. $4 winner, Alibaba. AMD absolutely destroyed to the upside as well. So it's been a big morning for me. We did it again on this name. We're going to take EDU long through 220 coming soon, and we've averaged into GE. So let's see where we go from here. Average price now 24 on GE, guys.
Yeah, I just took the first leg out in Tesla when we broke that 655. I got 55, 64 out there to take a little bit of profits. That OBSV still sitting in this one as it's now barcoding off 285. This looks like it might actually make the pop, so I'll cancel this order here at 310. If it pops up, might be looking at a 320 to 325 area for a bit of a short. Brenda, what's up?
That's Flora growth. We talked about it yesterday a little bit. Was halted a few times yesterday. Maybe somebody knew something. New distribution deal for them today involving a CBD cream, guys, for that FLGC.
All right, we're going to go 185.50 or so on a break here of Alibaba if it comes back in. So we're about to get out of this one pretty soon. We're going to put this $3 in our pocket, guys. There it is. So there it is. So there's an out. So nice, yes, sir. We're really happy with that one as the Wiz is here. We'll throw some cash around on that one. A good trade on Alibaba. We let it take out the high one more time, and then we give up that last dollar because it didn't go. So one more break of 187. Maybe I'll touch it one more time small, but that's a good little level there. 186.50, I guess. We'll touch that. If it goes one more time, we'll touch it for long side there. AMD, I mean, that one just continues to go, man. So we'll go Post-it note. This is a nice little graphic here for Post-it note because everything's on here. Everything there. Look at that. Tesla and AMD. Oh, yeah, they're both on here. Let's go and hit that one more time, Rob. You did a good job on this, even though this is old. There it is. Tesla and AMD. And, oh, I don't have Apple on here. Let's check out Apple, what that one's doing. But here we go. Tesla coming right back in now, 654. A good opportunity to get some. Oh, and there we go. So now we're long EDU off of that 621 level. So look where it dipped back down to. This is the thing. We're not holding some of these names. Like, this is the one thing that I've learned, especially with Goldman Sachs. If you guys remember how I traded that one, we're not going to hold this all the way down and average down to these very bottoms. So if this wants to break through like 212 or so right here, just breaking back down through view up, then we'll get out. So we're going to be wrong on EDU. It's not going to cost us a whole hell of a lot of money. So let's do a little bit of work on some levels, but EDU falling back in a little bit here, guys.
Yeah, and here comes Tesla back to, this is why I took some profit on Tesla. It comes right back in, break 650. That looks like a fail break though. I might try to snap back into some shares of Tesla that felt like a bit of a fail break. EYEG, that just flushed through 550. I got some more out there. Still holding on to it. 619 was where we added to this position. We took some more shares instead of taking it off. It's still continuing to the downside. I'll get more out in front of that $5 range and then think about where we can get back into some Tesla. I did not get that. I actually popped into a long, and it was not Tesla on that fail break. It was Lucid. So Lucid making a bit of a move, coming back into the downside. I didn't think this was going to happen. I thought we'd maybe cluster a little bit and then hold up, but we're testing this level. I always look at like 7 a.m. 7 a.m. pullback 26.50. I'm buying the dip in front. I had a huge breakout going into the morning, going into the open at 27.50. Right back into this price. I got 26.75. We'll get out if it breaks 26.50 and then look for a different bottom here because that was much more momentum than I was expecting going into that move.
Okay, yeah, so we did get back into Tesla there. We'll see if it can go upside now. That's what we're holding. But right now, one concern, we got into Neo bottom, 41.80. So we're going to see if that can hit. I mean, right there, we got the bottom tick now on NIO. We'll see if it can go up. And there it is. Yes, sir. So finally there, we'll hit another win, or one win anyways, on Tesla now, and then see if we can hold the rest back to the upside. It did break that 650. We got out and we got right back in. What's up, Brendan?
Just checking out Roku. Guys, not seeing anything as far as news, but back to all-time highs for Roku, 2% to the upside. We're coming up to $4.90 now for Roku, guys.
And waited for that dip by, at least initially, that 1350 area for me. I said there was that 13 to 1320 area on GE on the daily chart, so we're going to stick in around that. If it starts to barcode here, that's what I would love to be able to see, like you bounce around here, consolidate a little bit. The market did come southbound. That's part of the problem here. The market's heading back in down 0.5% now, so you are getting some steep selling. I just got back into Tesla, and it looks like that momentum taking us to the downside. I don't want to dig in too deep here, but it looked like a fail break at that 650 level. This one feels a little bit more real. So I know we're able to catch a bid. Initial long stunk. The bid is what we're going to make back here, that 655, but could turn that red on the day in Tesla for me if we don't hold back the 650 level. Earnings were good, but it doesn't seem to matter. The market not liking. Go to the higher time frame chart, guys. Watch out. If we get to 640, that is the major support on Tesla, is that 640 level.
Okay, so here comes GE. Yeah, we're pretty invested in this name now, as we've had to average in to this. So we did get some, I mean, these were great. Like, we were ringing the register off the open, remember that? As it went to 650, and we actually got 1347 there. So now we're in this name, and we're gonna hold it long and see where we go from here. NEO, okay, so there we go. So remember what we said about Tesla? I've taken 2 or 3 shots on Tesla here. Damage minimal, we were able to get out, and this is why we're not holding it as it continues now to fall to the downside. So sometimes, you know, you have to be very weary of this. This happened last major tech season, guys, where the market fell because a lot of these tech stocks already at all-time highs and don't I know Apple symbol, AAPL, Sean? Already, okay, that's holding up pretty good. Already at all-time highs, so you got to be very, very wary of some of these plays, which is why we did cash out here on AMD, right? Bang, bang, bang. 20, 40, 60, 80, still have that 20% left. If it breaks through 93, we're going to be gone. So that's AMD breaking through 93, we gone. And then GE, man, right near this breaking point one more time. No more averages in. We'll wait to see what happens now at 13. There's not even that much size. So this name not looking great right now. Our average price 13.13. So needs to get going here if we're going to put a win on the board with GE. But we'll see. It just held 13. Should have averaged in more at the bottom, but we did pretty good, I think. So let's see where we go. Again, could be a losing stock today. GE off of a great morning, just didn't execute properly and take out that 1350 high.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get some more shares of G. Sorry, just added to my G position. There wasn't size, which I'm shocked at 13. Usually even dollar level, when it's in play, you're going to see some size there. Lucid, I mean, immediately takes out that 650 level, so I reverse into the short side of the trade. Why? I mean, failed break. And anytime I look at a failed break to the upside, I start to get bearish on the stock. I did reverse to the same price that we got out of the long, so you will see him in a short position at 26.41. First bid is down here at that quarter mark, but I just had to give up the ghost on Tesla. So go from green to red on Tesla, not holding up at all. This market heading southbound. That's why hanging on to some short trades that we have on here. And then really it's just GE that I have to monitor because that's the only long I have on left. OBSV pretty good to the south side. IG as well. Lucid, we're looking to see if it can't continue the flush in. And yeah. Oh, so we're going to go to Brendan. We'll come back in a second, talk about AMC.
DYAI, and a little one moving here. They announced a technology transfer and license agreement for some COVID-related technology. Seems like a theme today in these little small caps. DYAI up 40%, guys, coming back to $5 here.
So what's my out for NEO? Good question there, Kevin. I'm going to use 40.50 as my out. And it's going to be, you know, like I'm not heavy in it. I do want to put on one more spot if we get lower. But we talked about this in the pre-market, this level right there, this 40.56 or so level from the 19th and the 20th, 19th, sorry. So that was a level there that we were looking at there, Kevin. So I don't know where we're going to go. We did average into it. So yeah, we're not, I mean, everything's fine. I mean, today's actually been a good day. Alibaba, I mean, it's not a good day right now considering these positions, but Alibaba was a big win for us, man. So we cashed in a lot on Alibaba, so that was good. And now here it comes upside. Should have held this one, like everything working, but not, Baba working, and I don't have any. The things I do have not working right now. So NEO trying to make a move off the upside here. Our last bid was at 28 or 29, so that's a good one. Our average price on NEO only 41.60. So I'm out of the money 20 cents here, guys. It's not panic time on NIO.
Yeah, I just got some of that Lucid out there, 26.25. It's continuing to head southbound. 26 even is going to be on the bid. Look, there's only a couple of days of action trading because it just became Lucid from being CCIV. There was a dip buy we had on the show, 25.25. At the close, it dipped to 25.50. That'll be the target for the rest of these shares. The latter, not the former, that's at 25.50 level. So I'm going to get an order out there as the market bouncing a little bit here. So trying to catch a bid. GE for now, with that market bounce, has held barely that 13 level. So a tick down. The offer couldn't really trail it. And then now we're getting back above. I'm not adding to that position until I actually see some barcoding or some actual consolidation. But Lucid Motors, that was a reverse. I almost had to have. It's the way that it came into that fill to the long side, right? Like it's just entirely too harsh. Just immediately corrected off of this big level, 27.50. That's the reason for the tight stop and the reversal there, guys. Sometimes you can't fight the tape. I said I would go to AMC. Probably, you know, like at this point, it's already touched and gotten past his afternoon support level, sorry, lunchtime support level at $39. It's broken it. It's come all the way back above that particular price. I think that's going to be a key level. If AMC doesn't hold this, I mean, you can go over to the 15-minute chart and just sort of see. If AMC doesn't hold this, you are looking back probably to like 37.50 for the next support level on AMC. So weakness I'd say almost across the board. I mean, Tesla was long, it was good initially. TAL was a good long initially as well before that came back in. It's on the New York here. Before that came back in, and now it's starting to break out. Should have hung on to this one because I got a tight stop on the second long, basically barcoding between 495 and 520. It might still be set up for a top end break here at 530, but it's running out of time to get out of this range. Kind of just looks like someone's pushing it around in a 15, 20 cent range when you look at this chart. You could probably scalp this. I might go ahead and do that. If I can catch like 520s to like 495s and it wants to hold this, why not take the 5, 10 cent winners when you can? If you have direct market access, you might as well.
Yeah, and we're doing that on EDU on a big average. And yo, my troll just fell. What's up, trolls? Say what's up. All the Blue Jays, thank God they're coming back. I think the playoffs are going to be a distant memory, but maybe next year. Good luck, troll.
It's not over yet.
It's not? Okay. You'll be good luck. So we'll rub the head there, and hopefully he'll be able to provide something here as trade deadline coming. Okay, so EDU right now, we averaged into that, and you guys saw me take that at 212. I thought 213. I talked about that level, then I talked about this 208 level where we would be getting out if we needed to. So that's EDU. Now making that move right back upside. I still think we can break longer, but that average in gave me this price. So now we're long at 16, right? So that's the key level for me. We'll see if it can go. I feel like my internet's very, very slow and choppy here, but hopefully everything holds out okay for us as NEO still not doing anything, right back to day's low as right now the future is dropping. What's up, Brendan?
Another biotech moving here, guys. RLMD. It is a small company, 420 million on the market cap, but decent price here, 33 bucks. Just halted actually to the upside. So volatility here, 33%. There was positive results from one of their recent studies for RLMD.
Yeah, well, I mean, the volume's pretty good so far, but like, always take caution with anything that halts. Oh yeah, we're a little bit slow here. Definitely. Just want to. Yeah, my daily doesn't want to load. My 15 is not going to tell you too much of a story on this name. So, look, just be very, very cautious with these halt trades. I did want to look at Zila. That's what I was going to next, guys. It showed some strength, and we talked about that level that needed to hold if we had a downside. That was 265. We're right around that 265 area as we speak. So looking to see if we can catch a bit of a bid. That $3 break never happened. It was a pretty good candidate for the rollover at 930, but that's not where my eyes were focused on. Lucid has held 26. That's the other trade that I'm into the short side here at least. It's holding 26 for now. I got a bid southbound at 25.50 in case we do get a bit of a break. But after holding this level, I kind of think I want to average into the one or get back in. Let's just reload, I should say, at about 26.50 if it does pop up, and then use that original long price off this cluster as my out at about 26.75. So I flipped the script in direction and Lucid here today. And it was a long for me yesterday a couple times. Today I'm looking to the short side after that long didn't work.
Okay, so yeah, I was like, oh my God, don't tell me my charts are frozen again, but they're not. Okay, so what about Tesla as a good dip buy? We can have a look at that again. Yeah, I mean, is it a good dip buy? Yeah, I mean, it held this 644 pretty good. It's just a matter of what we think about this market, guys. Like, if you think the NASDAQ's gonna go, then obviously I think Tesla's gonna go. I've already dug in right now to NIO, so let's see if that one wants to be a name for us to hopefully take advantage of here today. But, and then of course we're into GE right now, which is almost back to flat for us. We're long at 13.5 here. It shows 14. Okay, so round it up. Doesn't matter. We'll play the game. 13, 14 long here on GE. So hopefully that can get going back to the upside there. A lot of shares invested in that name. So we'll wait to see where that one wants to go. Other than that, Apple bounces off some of those levels. Let's just go through some of the things that we talked about here. Let's look at DD quickly just to see what that's doing, because that was a big trade for us yesterday. It didn't get to those levels. We were looking at 840 for, it doesn't matter the date chart. We're looking at an 840 break right up here. We talked about that yesterday, why we like that 840 level. So if that can happen, that'll be good. But here we go, man. This is what my whole day's riding on right now is going to be a GE. So we're back to flat on GE now after a nice little resisting down here at 13. We averaged in, and now we've got a position on. So let's wait to see where we go here on GE. Upside from here, hopefully we'll be able to cash this in. So GE, let's hope we get back. And I hate saying that word, but up to 1330 would be nice. I just think that we had a break there. I don't really know what that was all about. Then it just kept on cascading to the downside. So let's see a retracement back at least to VWAP here, which is 25. We'll take some out at like 19, 20, but then the ultimate goal would be between 25 and 30 at this point, guys.
I love Moxie, man. This is like that ridiculous, it was a sell before, and I can show you quickly. We'll go over for anyone that didn't know. We were all over shorting the stock with monster size at 29, 29, 28, 27, 26. We're scalping it. We're taking breakout shorts. But now after the big flush, double bottom 1350 and 500,000 shares on the bid at 1810. I'm at the point now where I think I'm just going to take anything that's in front of one of these ridiculous 500,000 share orders or million share orders on Moxie. I'm just going to go with it. So when we saw that one pointed out to us, I'm going to get 1820 in front of that 1810 buyer. I've already taken some out at that 1850 to scalps on, hold it. Even if it breaks, when the short would break, it would then go to the next level up, the next obvious resistance level, and then turn around. So if that happens here and the 1810 breaks, I'm looking right back to 1720, where it did have this little bit of a dip buy. So we'll call it 1720 in front of 17 even. So even if that size breaks, I'm just going to go right back into the long trade at about 1720 if I can catch it. Just got another leg out there at 1857. I'd be doing like the hitting keys or whatever and money if I had it, but I did a restart or upgraded my Stream Deck, and of course it's now broken on me, guys. But Moxie, the gift that keeps on giving, I think it gets back to 19. This is a $29 stock last week. I mean, $20 is an easy thing that could definitely happen here.
Okay, so there it goes, guys. Yeah, we're just hopefully starting to destroy GE here as this comes back up, man. We just took that out. We just said we'd do this. 17s and 19s, and then hopefully get some out if we can get up to this 25 level. So let's see if GE can make dreams happen here and get going, man. This is going to be a big monster trade for me to the upside. So hopefully that'll continue to work. I did add a little bit to my Alibaba position. So we did put some trades on to Alibaba in my own personal account. Don't tell anybody. What's up, Brandon?
Raytheon Technologies, guys, they reported as well. So positive on their earnings side of things, but just saw this as well. They just got announced $212 million contract with the U.S. Air Force as well. So RTX on the run here a little bit today, coming up to 4%, 90 and a quarter up there, recent highs for that one.
It's still going, Moxie. We're at 1880 now, so that break is ongoing. We already talked about it's that size. I see you, Shakib. I'm not sure. When we talk about the size column, I can quickly show you on level 2. So this is market. This is the market ID. That's going to be the ECN. You can see the price. This is simply the amount of shares on each level. I have mine by board lot, so each one of these represents 100 shares. That is what the SZ means. If that's not what you were referring to, then I apologize. But Shakib, if that hopefully that answers your question. On our Prosper Pro, that's just the amount of shares on each of these individual gateways. I have mine by hundreds. You can actually, I could sit there and show a 300 number, but it's easier for me on the eyes to show board lots.
Okay. Yes, sir. Okay, so we're going to get ready here. Okay, so all right. So just to review there, we did get. Oh, did we get a 21 there on GE? Yes, we did. So you're going to see my price keep on changing here on GE. So every time I get out, it just keeps on averaging down. But GE, a big trade for us. I think you saw the average price was 14 at one point. So even though it's only at 17, it's not a huge winner. But when you got shares on, it's worth it. So we're taking some scalp out there. EDU doesn't want to go. We only took a small piece out there, hoping for the same thing, but we are going to get filled out if it does break this 208 on EDU. I just got to make sure that I have all these orders. Yes, I do. So that order to go there as well. Check back over on Apple. We'll check on Softy as well at some point here. Apple bouncing off that 150. We talked about that all-time high. What's up, Randy? On that. But look at Apple today, just doing absolutely nothing, waiting for earnings to come out. So we'll look at Softy, which is coming out as well today. We absolutely destroyed AMD, so we'll go back over to that in a minute. Softy doing the same thing. It's just a matter of what we think about the NASDAQ here. If the NASDAQ is going to go, then it's going to go. AMD, good thing. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. This is how you win, man. So we'll dap it up. This is what we talked about. Look, I'm a big investor of AMD, large investor of AMD, but the thing is that when you're able to take this kind of profit and then dump the last 20% for the same win that you took on the first 20%, that's a win, man. And you can't hold these things forever. We should have got out more at 94. 95 is the level that I know Brendan's targeting here for earnings. So we'll see if that can come through. But right now, AMD, like I said, hard for me to go into any more longs, considering we already have NEO, GE, and EDU, although EDU doesn't really count for a long. We're just trying to play some action on that, and then AMC bouncing around. I'll look at that when we get back.
I know, because I know what you mean there. EDU doesn't count for long because it's not going to move with the market per se, right? So, as you see the bounce back happening in the futures, like the EDU, like the TLs, those are going to have march to the beat of their own drum. DYAI, this actually halted. Thank you guys for pointing this one out. This halted at the open, and then look at that test. Reopens, tries to test the pre-market highs, now back off there. If it can break a 535, you got to look to that to be a key level. It's already taken out like a 520. The next stop is going to be literally 6 even. We're now at $19 even on Moxie. This one, look, it came off at 29. We talked all about this over and over again with that size that would constantly show up. I'm going to stop looking that gift horse in the mouth at 19 even. I'm now hanging on to 20% of the position. We just immediately, the second I saw that size in the bid, I was like, if it worked on the offer and the stock got cut in half, then when the buyer shows up for 500,000 shares, I'm just buying in front of it. And then if it breaks, I'm buying on the dip. And that's what we're going to go with. So it just broke 19. We're now $1 in the money here on MOXC. This stock has been just a day trader's, I think, dream. It's not often that you actually just see someone throw a bid or throw an offer that's gigantic on level 2, and they mean it. It's done 3 million shares. And it was 500,000 shares just sitting on the bid saying, I want the shares. And when it was on the offer, they were taking every single one of those fills last week. So I'm going to assume the same thing here until it's wrong.
All right, don't shoot the messenger, but we are short right now. As we'll see about beating up on AMC a little bit here. 38.70 takes down the low, so we did get some out there at 55. Now we'll go to the downside here and see how far we can go with AMC. And we'll check back on it because I'm going to let this one last a little bit here. Back up to 39.50 or so. So we'll give this one a little bit of room and see what we can do to the downside. Here's a 20-minute chart for AMC. Just looking to see about this 36. We're coming up to some other levels here, including a 37 bid. So let's just be patient right now with AMC and see where we can go with it. So that's going to be my little talk there on AMC. We'll see where we can go with this name now to the downside. We did get stopped out, so we have a stop out alert on EDU. So 208 comes and we get hit. So now it's right back into the money, but that was our play there. So not a great trade there on EDU, but again, relatively small. Like we've already made more money on this AMC short that we're holding than we lost on EDU. So hopefully, that lets you know just where I am on share size. So let's wait to see now if we can test some 38s. We'll take out another piece around there. Maybe I should have taken some out on that low there of 35. But right now, AMC will get some out in the mid 30s, I guess, like 38.30 where we just touched down. That's not a bad spot to get out of AMC, guys.
So buyer now is at 19 on MOXC, that from 18.10 now to 19. So you can probably guess what I've done. I've gone ahead and reloaded. So the second I saw that buyer in there, I'm looking for it, and I'm assuming it's going to hold every single time. If it ever breaks, I'm just going to get out. So I got some more shares in. Was able to get some of the 19.25 guys. So I continue to take that profit out, scalp some, just work it out all the way upside here. But MOXC, it was offers from 29 all the way to 25 before it got cut in half. And then the buyer stepped up in here today at 18.10, and now I see them again at 19. It's already 10 o'clock. It is time for Happening Now with Brendan at the big screen.
Hey guys, let's get a quick check on how things stand at this point. Yeah, negative numbers continuing to set the pace, I guess I should say here. I want to point out the Russell, guys, the small caps under pressure, leading the way to the downside, 1.2%. For the Russell. NASDAQ as well, 0.6, 0.7, 0.5 for the composite and the 100 here. So tech stocks, again, small caps leading the way. Dow and S&P about the same, around that 0.4% area. Again, we were in record high territory yesterday, so context is key. Coin. We talked about some of the crypto names in the pre-market, if you remember. Very volatile afternoon and 24 hours for crypto. Yeah, straight back to the downside for Coinbase, guys. A lot of these charts looking similar. UPS, not a good number, not a good report, not a good forecast for UPS. The call triggered this. We're at day lows right now. Worst day in 9 months, I just read, for UPS, guys. Back to you.
So I'm now long bottom in MOXC. It just, that term was ridiculous. So we got back in, jammed at like 18, and then it halts downside at 17. I got 17.40. Remember what we said? We're gonna take that one back into the long at 17, in front of 17.20. Well, it's come almost immediately. You can see a lot of execution on MOXC. I've probably done at least a couple of dozen trades here, but now all the way back in, that buyer has sort of got terminated. They did take the fill through that 19.10 level after stepping it back up. It's now halted to the downside side off 17. I'm long at 17.40. So basically right around that support level that it put in. It is worth noting on the way down when it made the double bottom at 13 even, it did have a higher low off of 15.60, although to me, it is basically right here where it has to put up or shut up, because if the buyer's going to step back up, they would have liked 17 before. Let's see if they like 17 again, but MOXC, what an unbelievable ride. That 500,000 shares, they're taking those fills. So every time they show up, it is an actual real order that is taking that fill. just be careful. It's 500,000 shares, but it's only done 5 million on the session. So if it shows up, that's why it's significant. If it gets filled, it is also significant the other way. So you have to be careful with your share size. No matter what, every time I'm in a halt state trade, I get out minimum half of my shares on the reopen. That's with a limit on, so market on open order to make sure I get that fill, and then I hold the rest. It's just a way to mitigate risk. I don't believe in holding through 100% of the trade when you're involved in a halt. It halted because liquidity is low. So to me, that means you take some out and relieve that pressure on the reopen. It should be a 5-minute because it is a volatility halt on MOXC. If it doesn't open in 5, that just means it's 10.
Yeah, exactly. So good review there. We are looking at NEO right here. We did take that other bid. We're looking at that 40.50 out. So it does bounce back up, and we did relieve some pressure on the position there when we did get that out a little bit there at 41 or so, 40.90 or whatever that price was there, where we got out right here. So yeah, 90. So now it's coming to the downside. We may get out of the rest of these. It's not going to be, it's a hit, not a huge one, because we were actually here it comes, because we were actually very patient with this. That's why we have an average price where we do right now. It's not the end of the world here, so let's wait to see where we go on this name, but it looks like NEO's going to crack that 40.50, and we will be out here for a 50-cent hit. You can see where we're long at 41 even, which is why we did relieve some pressure there for 10 cents. So yeah, it's coming to the downside. Not great here for sure on that trade. And there it is, man. We actually got into a long position that we weren't sure we'd get today. That's SoFi down at 15. If you guys remember at 8:30, I did talk about this position. So let's see where we can go here now with SoFi. If it breaks 15, we're gone. This was, I didn't even think we'd get this. So we're just going to hold this to 15 and see what happens as SoFi and the market continues to come to the downside. So SoFi, we're in this name. NEO's trying to hold up, guys, at this level. GE's just bouncing around again. So right now, it's just a waiting game for me.
It's kind of good you mentioned that. I actually had, while I was managing MOXC, I didn't even notice, and we'll say we got out of my Lucid. You'll see I'm no longer short Lucid Motors. We reversed into the short position at 26.40. I took some out in front of the people, right at the pre-market lows, and then said 25.50 was the next out. So it's not quite a dollar winner. It's about 90 cents. So that's going to work out. I got my plan of action here over there from MOXC, so my order is in, locked and loaded to go. But I don't want to get too far away from that EYEG, which is continuing to flush to the downside. I just wanted to quickly show, and yesterday, this is all aftermarket. It did nothing actually nothing intraday, but 425 was a breakout, and this was aftermarket at 430. So it gets down to that price. I will be covering this one. And if it bounced off of 425, I'll just probably put a trailing stop in to make sure we do not look a gift horse in the mouth. We shorted this 173s. We added to it and broke the pre-market lows. Now it's absolutely flushing. OBSV is only down at 286, so 20 cents in the money only. And then GE. I mean, the market's trying to hold up. It's not doing a great job. GE did give that one bounce. I took some out in front of VWAP. I'll try to take some out again, but it really needs to hold the higher low in front of 13. I would love to see a size bid on GE at 13. That would be a fantastic look, but beggars can't be choosers. We have to deal with the market that we're given. For now, it has held up in positive territory, bouncing off of yesterday's close and holding 13. Brenda, what's up, bud?
Just saw this SINT, Syntex Technologies, shipping their first order of a brand new product for them today. SINT, big volume spike there at two even, I guess it was, for SINT, guys.
Okay, so we are actually into Apple right now on this low. Enough is enough. Let's see if it can hold some of these bottoms now. And big squeeze down here. It doesn't look like it's going to hold, but big squeeze down here in the NASDAQ. So we're going to play this till about 147.50. Actually, no real point in looking at the daily chart for Apple. We'll go AAPL. As we're still holding that AMC, we did get a little bit out of AMC. Yeah, this is at 147.50. So into this area where we were a couple days ago. If we can break back down below that, then we'll get out of Apple. But right now, I think it's an okay position. Not very heavy. I can't be heavy on everything if I'm going to be long everything. The only thing I'm short right now is AMC. So, and that's not even really working. We did get a short there at 38.70 and covered it at 55, and then again at 50 or 48, whatever that last price was there, 50. And so now we'll wait. And then again, we're heavily invested into GE, which keeps coming to the downside. Those were big timeouts. Bang, bang, bang. So we can take another position now on GE and see what happens. But 13.05 and starting to come to the downside now on GE. So that's a worry for me. And then SoFi, if we break through 15, let's check, is there any size? A little bit of size there, but not that much. It probably hits that. So we're also long SoFi here. So those are all my positions. Couple longs and one short, guys.
Yeah, there's a potential big seller, I think, on that Moxie. I'm sort of seeing it now. It did have an imbalance to the south side. Very, very small, but I do see an order that looks like they were jamming some shares in there, so I might take a few more shares out on that reopen. Neuro, someone asked what happened to Neuro. It tried to spike up. When you get a 930 pop on a name that has been weak in Neuro, this is what happened to Neuro yesterday. This is a setup got to have 10 times out of 10 if you're me anyways. It comes right to this 1980 pre-market highs. Look at this cluster. This is 1965 right into like a 2050 area. You fail right in that range, then come right back down. That usually signals a pretty good short. It just broke yesterday's lows at 18 even, so I think that's nice retracement level for it here. Holds below 18. Neuro's going to be a bit of a dog for me, so I'm going to flip to the south side late to the party because flipped in Lucid, but I wasn't paying enough attention to Neuro because it had slowed down so much in the last couple of days, but it's now firmly on the radar after that setup to the south side.
Yeah, Neuro. Yeah, actually, Neuro was a good trade for us a while back there. So good trade today, it looks like, too, for Neuro. So we'll wait to see where we go here on some of these plays to the upside. Hopefully, we can retrace a little bit, which would be really nice if that could happen. So we're looking to get upside here on some of these plays now, including Apple, only 5 cents in the money. AMC just cruising around here. GE, we did take some more 7s there, so we'll see where that's going. And then SoFi still bouncing as well. NEO does come out here. So again, you know, we could talk about Tesla, we could talk about NEO, we could talk about all these names, but the EV space today is starting to head to the downside. The name that I like, obviously, is Ford. We can check that out quickly. If that's also down, yeah, another 2.5%. Is that right? Yeah, no, okay, that was Tesla. Okay, so Ford down 1.5%. Looks like it's going to get to that level, down to 1382. So I love these longs, but right now I'm kind of just invested in some other longs. But 1380, this looks like a good spot for Ford if we can get it. This is just a 1-minute chart. If we call up a 3-minute, maybe we'll have a little bit of better look to see where we were yesterday on these levels. 1380, that just only goes back to the close. So that would have been a good spot. But right now we're just looking at Ford and GE as well. See what we can do. But there goes SoFi starting to finally, wow, it was starting to make moves there. Went to 15.15. I think SoFi up to 15.25. If we could take 10 cents, that's going to be a good one. So I'm going to put some offers, you know, in the high teens, see if we can make some money here on SoFi.
And it's not the final countdown, but it's the final level. That 640 area comes into play. Look, I'll slow things down a little bit here because, not split adjusted. We'll zoom in on Tesla just so you can quickly see. 635 was a breakout. We had that break till 700. Remember that? We talked about that weeks ago when it happened. Since then, it's held a couple of times in that price range. We're going to be testing that 640 area here now. 636 was that breakout price, but 640 was a level we said. We said 655. We said 640. We're at that 640 test now. If it does a flush, I'm geared up. That I've left half the position room, that if we get a fail break through 640, I want to see it maybe wipe some people out. I will not take it out if it breaks 640. And then if it immediately does a fail break, I want to take more shares back in, thinking that this could be the wipeout. The ES is holding up, but the NASDAQ getting absolutely crushed. Now down to 15, back to 15,000 on the NASDAQ. If we bounce off here, that was a fail break on Tesla. We'll see if I can get some more shares back in off that 640. So there we go. This is now the 15,000 level on the NASDAQ. This is now the 640 level on Tesla. This is put up or shut up time for both. Brennan?
APT, guys, Alpha Pro Tech, a pandemic-related name, just broke 10 there on a huge volume spike, came immediately right back down. Still up nicely on the day. Don't see news on that one. But we also got that inflation number at 10 a.m. I mean, it was basically in line with expectations, 6.6 or 6.7 versus 6.6 year over year. So a little bit high, but to be expected these days for inflation numbers, guys.
All right. So here we go. Yeah, with the numbers, with the market still coming downside there. Just to check back in on Alibaba. Yeah, there it is, man. That's why we got out. So a good out there on BABA on the high side. We were feeling a little sad because it was up to 186.50, 187, but good out. Still my number one stock on the day. But you know what's getting very damn close is AMC, guys. So right now we'll walk on water with this short. 75 cents in the money and still going. So we'll see about AMC. We did take that break. Congratulations, anybody in there with me, but we're all the way back. Remember, this is a 3-minute chart, so this is yesterday's trading action, and to see some bottoms here, 39, I mean, we're already through there, but just to see where we're at right now, 37.90 yesterday. So was this yesterday or a couple days ago? This is July 23rd, so we're way back there on Friday. So these levels come back to Friday. 37.50 was a little bit of a bouncing area there, so maybe we'll have to get another piece out right now as we're getting close to that level right now, 37.80. Not a bad spot to get some out on AMC, so I think we'll just do that.
Of course, we got to pay for locates on Moxie here. They're like 2 cents a share. When I saw that there was a possible big seller, there was a big seller. I tried to hit it. I couldn't because I got the rejection there, but the big seller did come through at 1584 on Moxie now, and it's continuing to head southbound. It did put a double bottom, so I'm watching Tesla here, but I had to make sure I can get those locates. They just followed it down to 1480, so it is back into the sell side action here. I actually could have had this. I could have had 1580 to the south side, did not get it. If I had paid for the shorts, I'd be all over this one. Now at 1436, the seller is. So they just keep following it down. That's pie in my face, because if I had paid for the shorts, it would have already been $1.50 to make that money back. Looks like they might take out that first level at 1417. This is Tesla, of course. But Moxie, it goes from back being a buyer, now back into a seller. If it takes out the offer, I'll go the same plan the other direction, where if it takes it out, I'm looking next obvious level to the short side. That'll be about 1680 to 17 even, where we had that long from before. But Moxie, wow, what a reversal, guys. The seller is now gone off the offer. If I see it again, I'll come right back to it.
Yeah, it looks like Tesla's going to be testing lows here as well, guys. So we'll see if we can take a bid now. 639.20. There we are. And then if you look here at this level right here, 637. 638, something like that, right into that. But if you're going to hold it, maybe down to 625. But hey, yeah, yucky right now for Tesla, as it just keeps on going to the downside. We've able to get away from this name a little bit here, because we did have some back and forth there, negative on the stock, but thank God we got out. That's the thing. Look at this move to the downside here. Look at the move in the NASDAQ, now down 1%. So we'll see if we can catch this, but it's definitely a falling knife and or sword here. 638, 637 coming faster than we had hoped, I guess, on Tesla to the downside right now. So that's a cracked out position right now for anybody that's long Tesla. Oh, it's only down 3%, but it just been pretty nasty on the way down here. So let's see where we go from here. We'll try to hold this, but we do have some outs there, like I was just saying, 635, 636, something like that on Tesla isn't a horrible spot.
Yeah, that DYAI finally making a push to that high of the day. This is the one that halted. We missed out when this halted to the upside off the open. You guys rightfully pointed it out to us. Then we said, look, it could take out that top. That's 535. I'm long here at essentially exactly 535. Was able to get some shares at 34, but 34.5 is the average price. We can average up, not average up, round up. We just got some out there in front of 50s. When it comes to daily trade, I think we talked about this before. There was a bit of a lower high here at 590. I think that'd be the next level to the upside. If it were to break that, looking at like $7, I want to kind of mean that there's lots of room to run on DYAI, I should say, if it gets through this 550. It has not yet. Still room to go, but it's already traveled a full $1.50. That's why scalping some out at each of these levels, 50s and then 75s, makes a lot of sense to me.
Okay, so it looks like GE is going to try to keep getting cracked. There goes SoFi. So SoFi cracks 15. So that one will just beat up. I mean, we never really thought that we were getting beat up, but we never thought we'd get that price. As right there, man, now SoFi's right. Like, this is why we took it. I take this 10 times out of 10. Obviously, the futures just are saying, don't worry about SoFi, because we're going down anyways. So there they go to the downside right now and looking to crack. But that SoFi right there, yeah, just couldn't withstand the market. And again, when the market's weak and people are raising capital to get better names, this is what can happen to weak names, right? So SoFi, again, some weak hands letting this stock go to buy other names probably. So there goes SoFi to the downside. And by the way, guys, AMC is now that dollar. And we talked about this already, so we'll just put it in the gates of hell. I hate going short, because I do know that a lot of you are long this. And this is not like, for anybody, but it's just telling you that I'm trading off this price action. It breaks that low of the day there on AMC with the market going downside. So for me, that was kind of an easy play. So now we only have that 20% left. So bang, bang, bang. AMC, unfortunately, for the short is one of my #1 stocks, because it's a short. And those will be the ones that have been printing. So let's see where we go from there. GE trying to battle back. AMC short. That's about all that we have on right now. Kill them with kindness, Brendan.
Just seeing, market day lows. Boston Scientific, we mentioned briefly in the pre-market there. Decent volume, guys, about 2 million shares so far, holding up here nicely. So if we do get a bounce, looking for relative strength, still up 3% after earnings for BSX.
And starting to come back in is DYAI. Starting to come back up is Moxie, heading towards that halt price of 17. Now, we talked about fading in front of 17. I don't see size there, but the last time it broke those levels, I just like to fade play off of it. Now you're starting to come back on DYAI. That's why we take some profit off here. We're back above 640 on Tesla, but the market is still below that 15,000, at least on the NASDAQ anyway. So still showing some signs of weakness. I don't want to add to it just yet. GE doing a similar thing. I got both these now to the long side. I have not added to that GE position, although we did bounce off 13 again. So, if this is going to be a little bit of a turn here, it's managed to hold. I'll put a bid in front of that 13 even area, probably around the 03, 04 range, guys. But some of these are starting to look a little bit weak. And the only short I'm still in, because we got out of that IG, is that OBSV, which oddly enough, it actually gave a spike that we could have averaged into it, but there were so many other stocks that are moving a little bit more at the time that I'm not going to be involved in it when it gets to that 310 range. If it breaks 315, likely chance it's going up to 335, so no reason to have a stop at 335. I can stop out at 315 when I'm short at 309 and get back in if I like it, guys. So I'm going to move my stop on this stock. It has been, I'm not going to say it's a sleeper, but it has been one that hasn't been of concern when there's so much moving in the markets. You saw what Moxie did. You see what Tesla is doing now as we're dug into Tesla at a 642 price, basically. Let's see if this can't be the bottom.
Okay, so yeah, I don't mind going Neo long again through 40. We missed that long, so there it goes. So now we'll put that back on and see if it wants to go to the upside now. NIO here, hopefully looking for a little bit of a rally now off of making this bottom 39.80 or so. NIO, thanks to someone on the chat there for bringing that. It was just right now. Neo, there it is. Kevin, oh, hey, what's up, Kevin? Good friend of ours. What's up? So just need to get you to be a member there, Kevin. But okay, so that's that. So we'll see about Neo now. We're long. Nice little call out there for me. Thank you for that play. NIO right now starting to make moves back to the upside. We did take on a decent sized position. So if I can take some out in the high teens, we'll do that. It's a falling market right here. So I'm already long Tesla, $2 in the money. Let's see if it can continue to go to the upside here, catching up that falling sword a little bit there. And then we'll see if we can get back into this area. I don't know. I think Neil's right, man. 642 might be a decent out there. I think that's what you said.
I'm not taking any out.
Okay, he's not. Okay, so we'll wait. But that's that 642 level right there, maybe 643-ish. Anyways, Tesla, we're still long that name. AMC, we've taken it out a little bit, so we'll see that. And then NEO. So those are my only positions. And then GE, we're still waiting for that as well. We'll just wait to see where this all goes from here. I mean, I think the market needs to rebound a little bit. Here's the NASDAQ. We talked about that just falling. Is there going to be some relief for it? If so, then let's look to get back to 15,000 again. We just talked about that level not too long ago. But here we go again as Tesla, nice little $2.50 in the money. Let's hopefully this thing can run.
Yeah, I'm going to try and buy a dip in that DYAI. It's holding up pretty nicely. Oh, give me a break. I didn't actually get that. So it's holding up pretty nicely, I want to say, is it tried to get back below that 535 breakout price. I tried to pick some up at 25s here. You are seeing it basically consolidate, look for a secondary break. That break would be at 560. It has already tested that 550 level and failed once. You guys are going, it's already 10:20. Let's go to Brendan. Let's get that small cap recap.
Hey guys, yeah, small cap time, a little bit quieter of a day in small cap land today. There were a few to look at, however. This Igate, best name ever for a pharmaceutical company, got up to 750, 775, 8. If you go out to the daily chart, is a significant level from this pivot. It's been up there a few times. Every time it gets up there, it just gets slammed right back down. Today was no different. We bounced off 625, 6. It couldn't get above 650. I would have given it back to 750. But yeah, it just fell apart. So it gave you an average price easily above 650. We're at 450 right now for Igate. OBSV, pretty sleepy one today. Volume already an issue with this dying off. This 315, 320 area was support in the pre-market. Once that broke, gave you a bit of a fade, but not a huge mover. And then sometimes, I wanted to show you this one as well. OSAT, sometimes it pays to have wish orders out in the or right at the open, because this did spike up to 750. Gave you fill. This is a short. I just got out immediately at 7. So sometimes it pays to have, what happens if orders higher in the market? So 750 and then 775, the two levels I was looking at on OSAT. Guys, back over to you.
I forgot about OSAT, but some of these other names, I should have looked at SOS, but I do note here, guys, that BTBT looking over the top week. This is one of the ones we watched yesterday, and I did mention in terms of like fade plays, my preference is SOS. There is not much. If I had, and of course my thing isn't working here today, my Stream Deck, but I would be like slapping myself silly with that key because SOS 930 like pop rollover sell. It gives it to you once. It gives it to you twice. It's not the prices we're doing. There you go. It's a trap, it's a slap face. Anyways, that's a setup. You guys know I love that setup. And if I think a name is weak, which I said this morning, SOS would be that sell in the crypto space. It is short sell restricted, by the way. That's down like 10%, but 2 times it gave you that pop right into 290. Doesn't even test 3 even before rolling back over, guys. So I know BT looks weaker. It would have been SOS for me. I don't have it here, so that's pie in my face. Moxie, I finally get back into the short side of the trade, and I should have been all over this one. But I didn't pay for shorts. So by the time I actually was able to get the shorts, I missed this short down here. It was a huge breakout trade. You can kind of see I was like leveraging up big time. And then the last breakout, fail, that dip, and then the hold, and we give it all back when it gaps to the downside. But it was a monster sell off of that size before. This is what the stock has done. It's a below 50 period, but who cares about that? This is the reason why it's such a harsh turnaround. It was at resistance at 20. Now you've got this cluster here at 17, which is your new resistance levels on Moxie. So if it holds below 17 to 17.20, it's a short down to that double bottom at 13 that you saw before. The stock got cut in half off of that selling and then some. Looks like the seller is right back into it. Tesla, I mean, I got 42s. I didn't add that last time below that, at that 636 level. If it gets there again, might put in a defense, but decent chance if we retake 15,000, that's the best price you could have gotten.
Oh my God.
Might not be anything left here for Tesla to the downside if the NASDAQ can get back above 15.
All right, yeah, so we did get not blown out, but we did get out of our Apple trade there. 148, 147.50, that's a 70-cent hit. If this can get back here to 148, we'll take a little bit out there. So this was a 70-cent, that 148.22, 147.50. So yeah, about a 75-cent hit there, including all that change. And then so if we can get a little piece back and then a little piece back, we'll do that on Apple. So hopefully that can come through. We're still waiting for that. Tesla, a $3 winner right now, back to 642. We like that. Let's see how far this one can go. I don't know, no real targets. We're just going to wait for that. AMC, I mean, this is why we bottom out there, 37.80. And if you guys remember, we went back. This is now a 3-minute chart that I'm on. So we went back and found some issues at this 37.80, 37.60 level. So that's why sometimes you got to go back in time. And I want to thank Tisha for yesterday for on YouTube. We're on YouTube right now. On Twitter here, because she did ask a question and I did answer it here. So here it is right here. Tisha Perkins, thank you so much. She asked about on the Q&A, but we never got to it. What do I use for longer time frames? And I just use a 3-minute and a 20-minute to try to find breakouts. So that's what she was talking about there. So thanks, Tisha, for that. And thank you for the love as well. 41 likes. So if you guys try to ask some questions, I'll try to get those to you, not just in the Q&A, obviously, which we do every second week, but on Twitter as well, where we have just a good reach. Okay, so GE right now, I don't know. Wants to go. I mean, I have offers upside here, 1320. But again, if these futures, and we talked about the NASDAQ here a couple times, if these don't get going even more, like we got to take out that 15,000, then yeah, I think G is going to be dead duck here. I thought it was a good report. Remember, they're splitting that 1 to 8 reverse split, so I don't like that. So I don't know. I just wish that they would have said something about that maybe on the call. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't, but well, they are going to do it. It's August 2nd. It's already approved, so there's nothing to say. But GE here, just watch out. This one looks like it's going to not be the winner that we'd hoped it was.
Yeah, I got right back on the horse on Moxie. We're able to short. Look, this is the pre-market lows. It wasn't doing a lot of volume, 1650. The whole price over here at 17, so I'm going to take 1650 when it fails the second time through. I'll scalp out at 16 tries to hold 50 pennies. I'll hold to the lows. I'll short pops. I'm going the other direction once it's reared its ugly head to that for that turn. I just want to go back to TAL for a quick little second here. We only took this the one time on the breakout and then right back in here. So the one time on the dip buy with a tight stop. I did not reverse on this, which was probably a bit of a mistake. Once it broke back below this 490 range, I think that's going to turn into a sell point there. So of course, this is the Chinese education name. Still up 60%, but you can clearly see now in a reversal of the trend. It'll still be up on it for the long, but I'm looking to the short side of the trade now. It's broken the pre-market lows. The trend is clearly reversed. Brenda, what's up, bud?
Just going back through some of the highlights from GE, guys. I don't see anything regarding that split. However, there was this that kind of stood out. They did warn of inflationary pressures after lifting their cash flow estimates. So they did say by the end of the year they're going to have more cash flow, but There was a bit of an asterisk there saying that inflationary pressures may still change that, but that was really the only thing that came out of that, guys.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I like all that kind of talk, that there's really nothing negative, but honestly, man, the market doesn't lie. So as this continues to go down, I mean, I could sit here and, like I said, we hope that it gets back, which is why, thank God, we are able to get the majority, not the majority, but we got some, not even close to majority. We got some out here on the way back up as we were hoping to breach that VWAP level there, but it never came through. Now we're on a 3-minute, so it looks a little bit different, but that's still, I mean, if we could still get it into the teens, man, we'll get this thing out. So who knows if that's going to come, but again, it's a large position for me. Tesla's probably the largest just because it's a $600 name, but as far as share size is concerned, GE is where I need this money to go. So let's see if we go to the upside right now on GE.
Absolutely. And we need GE to come back. I just got some more shares in it as well there, guys, if that's what you mentioned. But you're seeing this market head to the downside. I just want to come over to something that's up 13%, and it's going to be Zila. Now, this is not breaking out, right? Now, I think we talked a little bit about Zila in the morning. I needed to hold a 265 level. Well, it's gone ahead and done that. And it's not to say that it's super strong. When the market's dying like this, and here's Tesla back in the money, like it's at 643. I do have offers in the 44 range to capture some of this profit that I want to hold back into 650 if I can. But Zila still has a chance. Volume good, 50 million, and holding up and trying to make this breakout. So, you know, I'm going to stick in a $3 break on Zila. On the market down in a week like this and a stock looking to rebound, when you hold a support level like the 265 that it has, it's already put in a bit of a retracement. On the daily, this is a higher low that it's trying to put in here, guys. It made a wipeout bottom, higher low, 265 area. This cluster is held. Let's go $3 break on Zila. It's also not look a gift horse in the mouth. And yeah, there we go. Take some Tesla out. That was kind of crazy. Like it was 3 cents away from my offer. I'm like, why am I sitting there in the offer? I'll just get aggressive and get out where I want to. So I just took some of that Tesla out there, guys. So my last entry was off 640. But Zila, $3 break is looking pretty good. You're looking for relative strength in the small caps. We saw a lot of them reverse. Zila holding up pretty well here, guys. So I want a $3 break on Zila.
Yeah, hells yeah, good call there, Neil. I didn't even miss that. Yes, let's go Tesla. So now we're back. Yeah, good look there. I didn't even see it. So we'll see if Tesla can keep going to the upside, man. 644, 645. Targets, I don't really have any, so we're gonna hold this and see what happens. I still think we can get back. This is a 3-minute chart, maybe back to VWAP at 650. I mean, that'll be pretty sweet if that could happen. Apple's not really doing anything, so as the market does rebound, Apple looks like it wants to go downside. So that's a position that we're a little bit worried about here with Apple. But again, like worried about it, I'm out of the money 4 cents on Apple. So worried, not worried too much on that one. But come on, GE. This is really, for me, going to be the deal breaker here today. If GE can get going, that would be pretty sweet. But if it does fall down and break that 13, that'll be a problem. So I'm debating getting a little piece out here. We're long at 09s. So right now it's about flat. I think I'll take a 1 piece out at 09, like 20%, and then see if we can reload a little bit lower than that. I think that would be the best thing to do here. So GE, take a piece out and then reload a little bit lower, and then we'll still have a 80% on if it rips. So what's up, Brendan?
Already 10:30, guys. Coming up in 15 minutes. Stick around because we have a great interview, great guest. Bay Resources coming through, an exploration company listed here in Canada. Going to talk about their latest work and ventures. So stick around for Spay Resources in about 15 minutes, guys. Coming up right now, let's get a check on how things are ending off. The day almost over in Europe today. About an hour left in the session there. V, what's up?
Hey, Brendan, European markets are also negative. Computer equipment maker Logitech trading in Switzerland is down more than 11%, despite reporting better than expected quarterly earnings. Back to you.
Yeah, just checking on API Group as well, guys. APG looks like on the NASDAQ, all-time highs.
And I just want to come back. One of the reasons why we go over levels in the morning, you got to be here at 8:30, is on Tesla. It's to the downside. And look, we have a chance to actually get green on the stock today. We'll see if it actually happens, but it's got to make a bigger move. We talked about 636 being a breakout price on the daily. We showed it right here. It was that 636 breakout into 700. That was an interesting swing. And we come right back in. We said 640 support level. And then right here, it dips, tries to break it, could not take out that 636 support, right into that target area here, and now trying to get back into the upside. I'm not sure, and I'll zoom into the chart here, guys. I'm not sure it's not gonna fail at 650. on this move, guys. So I'm probably going to take it off in the 650 range. I look at that cluster on the breakout. The market is not loving this, and we're selling off going into bigger tech earnings here. So if we can't get above 15,000, that's going to be a trouble for not just Tesla, but a lot of these names that we're watching here, especially Tesla because they just reported. But market's not going to hold up too well if we can't hold that 15,000 on the NASDAQ. Brendo?
My apologies. It was the NYSE, not the NASDAQ, for APG, guys. 15% just took out all-time highs there. I'll show you why. They're acquiring Chubb Fire and Security, the unit from Carrier, for $2.9 billion. So APG on the run, guys.
All right, we're just putting some orders upside just in case GE decides to go for a run. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but if it does, we'll go there with it. So now, I mean, we got out for flat. It's funny I keep talking about GE. I'm actually flat on the stock today by a P&L wise. So that's why, you know, if it goes, it goes. If it doesn't, it won't. But now we can average in a little bit better down here, about 1302-ish. But this feels like very, very weak. So yeah, I mean, look, here comes the NASDAQ right back down. So yeah, that Tesla's going to get squashed there. Looks like good out there, 644. It doesn't look like it wants to continue to hold up highs. But if it does, then man, let's go. Like, it's actually not even coming down that much considering right now this is a move back down to lows. Like, so this should be maybe near lows, but it's not. So let's see why Tesla's holding up. I do not know. What name is not holding up right now is Apple. I still think they're trying to shake people out of this name. But again, you know, Apple doesn't necessarily go up too much after earnings. Remember last time they had a problem back in April. And again, our charts are going to be a little bit messed up. But yeah, right in here where they failed to break at that time the all-time high, which was 144. So this, I believe this is earnings day right here. Like, maybe we could double check, but April 27th, 28th, 29th was right around here. And then you saw after that, Apple would retraced all the way back into those cash money levels down here. So, you know, maybe we do get a dip back down for Apple into this 143 area. That's possible. So we're definitely not going to discount that as a possibility for Apple. So just watch out here. We do have our out, and it's going to be a little bit lower than this. So we're getting close to being stopped out on Apple here because I can't hold this forever. Last earnings season, I believe, is right here. So we did get a dump down, and this was an amazing quarter. So let's see where Apple goes. At least Tesla's bouncing a little bit.
Yeah, Apple's gonna have a great quarter. It's just this price action has to at least concern. Well, you know what? The fact that the market is selling off going into some of these earnings might give them some room to run to the upside. But I want to go to DYAI. We talked about that stop that we had here. This is why you both take profit on a breakout like this, but also have a relatively tight stop, in my opinion. It's already traveled so far, like we mentioned. It's still holding this higher low. At least it will be if it can hold up at about 450, 465. But those are some pretty large successive candles into the downside. You're seeing a bit of a turn in the momentum here. And if it can't at least retest 525, this could turn into a bit of a short for me. I still got back into that Moxie. It's actually barcoding. There's no return of the size, so now it's more of a technical short off of the halt price there at 17 even. If I do see an offer come back in, I will play it the same way. But when there is no size on Moxie, I'm literally using about a tenth to like 20% share size because I don't know why this doesn't flip. Here we go, Moxie here. Because there's not a ton of liquidity on this stock. You'll see these big orders step up, but outside of these monster orders, like, you know, a couple 100,000 shares here, or that 500,000 share order we saw before, outside of that, you have bigger spreads and you have a lack of liquidity on the stock. So you don't want to be stepping in with bigger size unless you see that big bid or offer that you can hit as your out. Instead of using a stop order, you want to be able to use that as your out. Tesla, this is that last-ditch effort, right? Like, if we cannot break up here and test 650, you know, this stock could continue that downward trend. You're only breaking the trend if you can break out from 650 here. And with the market heading southbound, I might just have to cover if it gets anywhere close, guys, because I want to make something back here in Tesla. It's a falling sword heading into those big tech earnings. Is that Brendo? No?
No, I think it's okay. Okay, so AMD here today, guys, obviously continues its fall down. This is why you step away from this stock. Once you get your levels, right, they hit. We get that out real early. This is how I trade every day here, where we wait for an opportunity. We get that long on that break. It's right here. It's on the sticky note. It's at the very bottom. AMD there. There's that 93.20. Watch out for 92 support. But we didn't have to. The market just kept coming in, and that gave us an out here. So because we took 80% profits up here, we dropped that last bit there. Like, look at this. This is 92.20, right? Or 93.20. This out is 93. 92.98, whatever the slippage is there. So you're about 25 cents. Our first hit there is 15 cents. Then we get another 50, that's another 30 cents, another 35 cents, and then the upside 50 cents. So you add all that up, you take 20% out for that low hit, and you don't worry about some of these plays to the downside, right? So again, look at the NASDAQ, relentless move down, man. It just keeps on going. We rejected that 15,000 on a pullback. So now you're gonna get cracked here on Tesla, NIO, everything making moves to the downside. We held out the best we could. We made back like at least more than half of the money that we were holding during that dip was made back. But right now it's not going to hold out because NIO just continues to crack. We're going to get out if it breaks the bottom. Good thing we got some out there. And this is the thing, like on bad days, we really minimize the damage, right? Because this is how you can have, you know, successive net positive months, successive positive years, everything month over month over month. Because when you're seeing some advantages there, you can take profits. Sure, your net's never going to be like 10x what you want it to be because you're taking profits on the way up, but I'm pretty conservative in nature, so that's my logic and that's where I go with that. So let's wait to see on NIO. If it cracks the bottom, we're going to be out of this one. Can't hold on forever, guys.
And we'll watch out for that Zila. It is approaching $3 again. I actually like the fact that it's turning around off 97 here, and I'll kind of tell you why. Like, I'd rather consolidate, make a higher low here, maybe bounce off VWAP again, and give you a chance to really have some shorts dig in front of 3 even, which would be a level. If I was looking to short it, I'd probably be short off of 3 even. A lot of people are looking at that same thing here. So I'd love to see some people get short on the shorter term. And then that gives you some more room to run when it breaks 3 even, because that'll be a lot of people's stops. That gives you some momentum on the breakout. It's put up or shut up Tesla. We're at 644 here, guys. So we talked about this needing to break back up. It's trying to take out 45. Any slowdown off VWAP, I'll probably get out. One of the reasons why is if the market is going to rebound and we're down 1.5% still, nowhere close to 15,000, there is a potential break at that 52 range. So if Tesla does turn green or bull back, not green in session, sorry, back into a bull style trade, there will be longs to be had. That's why I want to take profit if I can get some of this back at that 650 if it gets there.
Okay, yeah, so right now we're just looking at NIO. As it drops right down to 50 there, we didn't get any out. We actually tried to get longer and we missed it. But so we'll try that one more time now to get going on NIO. We'll see where it goes, but there it is, man. Yes, sir. We're making everything back right now as the diamond hands are back in with a $7 winner here on Tesla and more. So let's go, Tesla, man. $7 now in the money off this bottom pick. You can see here, like this is back and forth. It's a loss in here. We've talked about that. But then you take that Hail Mary at the bottom and getting rewarded just a little bit here as Tesla's the name that's coming back in. Again, probably because of earnings, right? So like my Apple's falling down and just continue to get wrecked. NIO falling down, but bouncing back a little bit. Maybe we'll take some off NIO now as it's right back. So yeah, let's do that. But GE, NIO, Tesla, Apple, and then our AMC short, man. It's been a good day, not a great day. We'll see about, you know, a little bit of a rally. Up to 15,000 again would put us to the moon, but I just don't know if that's going to happen. I'm debating right now getting out some of this Tesla as it might be overextended.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this, trying to sustain that 645 break up to 50. Not sure it can do it. We got out of Moxie there, guys. It just did another one of those flushes off of 15. So you get right back on the horse. The long was fantastic. We give it back when it does that tremendous move to the downside. There's no size in the offer, but it's just a momentum play. We said if it broke, we'd use that whole price as a bit of an out, so we got 1650 out there at 1520 the last little bit. If it pops back into this range, I'll rinse and repeat, and we'll send you guys to the big screen. Brendan has our sector watch.
Hey guys, yeah, time for a look at the overall market. We'll see what is leading the way so far. We are negative 0.6 now for the overall S&P. One of those earnings days where you get a whole bunch of names offsetting a whole bunch of names, and then whatever's left kind of decides which direction we're going. We'll start off here in the tech group. The entire semiconductor group inside the tech sector to the downside today. Not even a single name in positive territory. NVIDIA, tough to see, but even NVIDIA to the downside. XLNX, there's Micron, Intel, Enphase as well. 3+% for all of those in negative territory. FISV, we mentioned in the pre-market there on earnings. FFIV as well, 5+% to the upside, but everything else pretty negative. In the tech sector, down here, there's UPS, 8.7% now to the downside. Again, worst day in 9 months for UPS on that report. FedEx being dragged along with it to the downside. There's Raytheon, 4% we mentioned, still offsetting in the industrial sector, but overall pretty negative in this group. Same story for the travel names. You remember we had a couple of days back to the upside for travel stocks. Not today. Here's all the hotels: Wynn, MGM, LVS, all 4+% to the downside. Penn, Caesars, NCLH, the cruise lines here as well in negative territory. Etsy, 4% to the downside as well. Far corner over here, LW earnings as well, 12% to the downside. So a lot of individual names. PKG kind of offsetting, but not really, 3% higher. A lot of individual names being responsible today for this decline. Energy stocks as well, the entire group there in the red, along with crude oil, guys. Back to you. About 0.5%, we'll call it, in the red. Back to you.
All right. We did, so again, being disciplined there a little bit, we did get out of our Tesla, and we got out at 644.70 or so, right there on that break to the downside. May be a mistake, who knows. We did get as high as 646 there, 646.90 or so. We should have took that, but again, we're so long. Well, not so long. We're so long in the market. We didn't have a huge position on Tesla, but we made back the majority. We're still, I mean, look, easy talk, right? I mean, we're still negative on it. So, but we did make back a hell of a lot. We made back like 2/3 of the loss there on Tesla. So pretty happy with that trade. And we'll go with one of my favorite. Actually, I think it is my favorite. Hold on a second. It is going to be the Tesla. There it is here. The little Tesla GIF. There it is. Electrify your life with some Tesla. So now we're going back to the upside there on that name. And we did, so that's, I mean, I'm happy to get out of that. And then we did get out another happy dance, 39.85 there on NIO, as now we can hold it. We're still long at 40. It's not a problem, but I didn't want to hold too much there. I wanted to get out on that bump up with the NASDAQ, as it's just a puke city to the downside right now. As you guys could see, really no relief all morning for the NASDAQ. As it just like, where's the relief? Like right here, we tried, and that's when we're like, yeah, go Tesla, and then it didn't happen. And I was surprised Tesla held up during all this. So I do think there's a long coming, especially like this Tesla long could be monstrous if it goes. But again, we just don't want to rely too much on the NASDAQ when we're already in GE, and we're already in Apple, and we're already in NIO. So let's wait to see if this all goes. But Apple right now is the one that's puzzling me the most. We're going to go longer through 147 here. So a little bit of a break higher. We'll go long and see if Apple can't make it the move back to the upside now.
And that OBSV, like remember we said, tight stop on this one at 315. We did have it in the money. Look, the gift horse amount didn't take it out at 280 when we could have off that 310 short. It's now testing the pre-market highs here. What just happened to my chart? There we go. It's now testing that pre-market high, that 355 price, guys. So we're right back into this. You get out with the tight stop. You get back in because I feel like it's going to be a better short off of that high of the day. Because it's actually it's not actually the 350 level. It is that 355. I kind of want to give it a shot to give a fail break through 350. And take out 55, maybe hold a 60 level, and then come back in before I add to that position. It just got above and got to that 55. So as I'm sitting there explaining myself, I probably missed a chance to add. I'll see if I can't get it there again, but I wanted you guys to know here. If it was 350, it was a pre-market high, I might have got out and then jammed back in after it held. But because it was at 55 level, I kind of wanted to let it break that 55 and then see what happens here. I didn't add to it. I'll start taking this off in front of this level, 335 here, and then a little bit more at that 320. And then the breakout was at the 310 level where I got it at the initial short. I take another third out at that price.
So this is an easy one for me because we have some defined levels. We talk about that all the time on the show. So here we go with Apple. We took a 147 break. We talked about doing that as it was happening. So there's the 147 break. Long again. Average price now 147.27. So we're out of the money right now. 10 pennies on Apple. We're hoping to get it back upside. You can watch Apple. You'll see it start to run hopefully as the NASDAQ can continue to go. Tesla back up to 646. That's a good one. NIO's starting to move as well. But so far so good. The only short we have on is AMC, and that's still 50 cents of the money. But right now, we got to throw it back over to Brendan with our guest of the day.
All right, thanks, guys. Yeah, we're going to get into the mining sector today with Spey Resources, I should say, joining us today. Nader Vitanci, CEO of Spey Resources, a exploration and development company here, primarily in Canada, although they do work outside of Canada as well, focused on lithium mining primarily, with some others to mention as well. It's good to have you, Nader. Let's jump right into things here. Tell us a little bit about Spey Resources off the top.
Brendan, how are you? Actually, my name is Nader, but it happens all the time. No problem. A pleasure. I'm really happy to be here. And yeah, a huge fan of your show, actually. It's very entertaining. I was actually in wealth management for many years. So I like these kind of shows. And I was also always interested in mining, specifically lithium, specifically, because it's such an important metal, you know, in our world, and such a vital component. And I was fortunate that the opportunity to run SPAY presented itself. And in my short time here at SPAY, we've acquired 3 wonderful projects actually in Argentina in the lithium triangle, which many of the viewers may or may not be aware holds 54% of the world's lithium reserves. So I believe we're in the right place. And what's very exciting as well is that our management team, which is headed by Philip Thomas from AIS Resources, they'll be assisting us with these projects in Argentina and using a process called the EcoSol process, which is very unique because it's very difficult, you know, for those viewers watching. It's very, very difficult to mine lithium, very expensive and very harmful for the environment. So this process that we'll be using has very minimal water use and does not use an evaporation pond. So we're very excited, and we shall see, you know, the results. So.
It's an important topic, and the environmental side of things obviously going to be on the minds of investors as well. So it's an important topic to get into a little bit further here. Nader, I apologize for the name. Let's talk a little bit about lithium in general here. I mean, this is a market that, as you said, you know, we find it in a lot of technology, a lot of things that we're using on a daily basis. Where do we see this going over the next, 6 months to a year? Let's even look out maybe 3 to 5 years as far as a market itself when it comes to mining lithium.
Well, for example, if you're referring to like the price right now is I think it's around 89,000 Chinese yuan, which is around 13,800 US per ton. There's some really nice statistics out there. Actually, it's projected that its market cap will be like 8.2 billion by 2027. And I think UBS predicted that by 2030, 50% of all the auto market will be electric vehicles. So I think the price, is very positive, I would say, in the long term. And I think something too, it might be a little odd, Brendan, but I even think that even space exploration will play an integral role for the demand for lithium. So I think, while short, obviously, we love the short term. It looks like medium term, long term, and ultra long term, it's quite positive, I would say, for the lithium space. So I think it'll remain very attractive for many years to come, in my opinion.
When it comes to the actual market itself, and let's talk about demand here, where do we see the highest demand? You mentioned a couple of areas there where, we could see an explosion, really, as far as demand is concerned. But right now, where is the highest demand coming from?
It's definitely the gigafactories, Brendan. These are what everyone's talking about. But again, lithium's used for so many things: laptops, phones, tablets. I was even talking to Philip Thomas. It's amazing that lithium is even used for those, maybe a shock to most people, even in medicine. It's actually used to treat certain mental health disorders. So it's quite fascinating that it's such a vital component to society and the world. And so
when it comes to the Argentina properties, tell us how things are going. Where is the project at this point, and how do we see progress coming over the next little while here?
For sure. Well, we have our Inquahazi Salar. We got Positos 1 and Positos 2 in Argentina. We're drilling on all of them. So we're waiting results right now from Australia. So all our shareholders and everyone around us are patiently awaiting and quite excited, actually. We raised $2.5 million recently, and we also have 2 projects here in BC, our Silver Basin and Caslo projects. So, it's a good hedge. Always good to have good assets in the books as well, besides lithium. But obviously, lithium is our flagship, and we have work programs as well for those. But again, as I mentioned, our key focus is our Argentinian projects, and we hope to have a pilot plant in place in the next 6 months. And our goal is to be in full production in 2.5 years' time. There's a lot of wonderful companies actually in the area as well. We have Ganfeng and Orocobre. So I believe we're in the right place. And we shall see, Brendan, what happens.
Nader Vitanchi, CEO of SPEY Resources, joining us, guys. You can find it as SPEY if you're looking for the ticker on the CSE here in Canada. A pleasure, sir. We look forward to an update in the future.
Thank you, Brendan. Hope to be on your show again soon.
Have a great day. There we go, guys. A look at the lithium market. SPEY Resources focused on that market, guys.
Not a bad looking chart either. If you have a quick look at it, that consolidation looks pretty good on the CSE exchange, of course. A couple of things to get to here, guys, because I can't hit my key for you for the excitement. But OBSV, we left you guys with this trade saying, okay, get out 310, 315 on that break, tight stop there, re-enter when it tests that pre-market high. That's what we do. I talked about all the profit taking that we would do in that range between 330 and 340. It's gotten there. I still have half of it. Now it heads down over towards VWAP, where I will start taking some more shares out, because if you've been watching the show, I don't like to look a gift horse in the mouth. I also did not do that with Tesla. It did make that test at VWAP. I said if it failed there, I would just get out. I just started putting trailing offers when it broke 645 the third time. I end up getting out here at 46. So, it's not going to be fantastic on Tesla. We try to pick our spots to the longs and took profits every single time we could. And that's the only reason we can limit the damage. Zila, the last one we'll get to here before, I know we only have a few minutes left to go, just going over some of these trades. Zila does break $3. I got 02s to the long side on the break. I have scalped a little bit out when it got to 6.7s. Let's see if it can't get back more towards that 325 range. We like those quarters. Has to break this here. This was not yesterday, but then last week, there was a bit of a top here at 315. If it gets through that, next level 350. So we'll look at quarters and 50s for Zila. Trying to get a recovery in, despite the fact the market has not come back in. Tesla gave at least a bit of a reprieve, but had to take that profit because it's looking pretty weak.
Yeah, we're trying to take some profits here as well, because look at the NASDAQ, man. It just keeps on going to the downside. And still, well, it's not my number one stock, but Alibaba still today. This is why. And we talked about that earlier. I'm on a 3-minute chart right now, so it's going to look a little bit different. But this is why, we took, and we took this bottom early. But I don't want to take it now. It's shown its hand a little bit here. So when stocks do this, it's not really worth me sitting in here and taking more shares on Alibaba. So we're not going to do that. I'm not in it, but we could take shares right now that we're down to 183. It's just if the NASDAQ, I know you could get good, you can see it. It's just the NASDAQ's not stopping right now. So, it's just one of those things where, what are you going to do if it doesn't stop, right? And so I know we do have an out that we could take this 182.70. I just feel like it's bumped all the way down here. So yeah, there it comes even more. So I don't know, that's a questionable spot right there for Alibaba. Okay, so NIO, as we were gone, this is what I was talking about when Neil was talking about Tesla right there. It does come to the backside there and we get out. So a small little trade. We still have about 30% of our position, so 40% of the position, as it looks like it's going to retest these lows. And we do have an out at 39.50. And as the NASDAQ keeps going down here, we're not going to get a win on any of these longs. And, like Apple, NIO, anything like that, if we continue to go down. So I think right now we're kind of in damage control. It's been an okay day. Not a fantastic day, but an okay one, as we've limited some of these damage. How could you be going long here and calling NIO okay today? We're not out that much on it. It could rally and then we'll be fine, but we will take a hit and we'll take a bath on NIO if it continues to go down, but we do have some targets there. And then GE is one that we just keep on absorbing. We are waiting for lower bids. That may not come through, but if we can get back in the teens, then we'll get some out. That's what we're hoping for. GE barcoding right now.
And observe OBSV is working out. We just got VWAP, a retracement on this name. And again, we try to walk you through the process here, because obviously if I like the short, there's lots of ways you could play this. But if you don't take it out when it breaks this 315 level, sure, yeah, you could have just averaged in at the top and then you'd be profitable at this point. But that's not a good way to do it. I think you had to be able to have full risk in here at a price which was reasonable in front of that high to allow it to break and fail. So a lot of times I'll miss that reload when it breaks the top and then fails. This time we actually got it. But we might have hinted that there's some earnings going on tonight. Bit of a busy board. I know we know what the leaders are, but there's a heck of a lot more than just the big three reporting tonight and tomorrow morning, Brendan.
Yeah, to say the least. I was just looking at one of them, guys. Shopify coming as well. Another tech name down significantly today. We topped out, going back to last week, above 2,050 here in Toronto anyways. for shop. But tech stocks right across the board under pressure. However, let's have a look at what else is to come tonight and tomorrow morning.
Yeah, you can see the big three, and then AMD, of course, being the ones that we've already mentioned. But yeah, do not sleep on Boeing, Teladoc, which is going to be a big one. I actually like Teladoc for value. I think if Teladoc, I'll pull up the chart in a second, but if Teladoc gets sold, I'm looking for value to finally get into that name. So I might wait a couple of days, and if it's weak, maybe pick that one up. But Teladoc on tap, Visa, Boeing, big ones, and Pfizer probably not going to do too much. QS, Sean.
Yeah, QuantumScape's been a shit show. All my largest holdings are right there. Microsoft, Apple, AMD, Alphabet's my single largest, Microsoft's my second, and then Apple's my third. I did want to get into Shopify. Haven't been able to get into that yet. That's a good name for sure. And there's just so many on there. We can just keep looking and looking at them. But CME Group, not bad either. I don't love Pfizer. I'd rather get into Bristol. So, and I don't think Boeing's going to have a good quarter. So I'm not super excited about that one. But I am excited now because we're going to end the show in a couple minutes with some bangers, which is good. So here we go to the upside goes GE. We're looking to get this taken out right now, 147.60. This is a 25-cent win as the market's starting to rally back for us here, which is putting a smile on this guy's face because it was rough there for a minute, not no more. And then GE coming upside as well. We're waiting at some 13s, I believe. Yes, some 13s and some 18s. So hopefully GE bumps up a couple more pennies. And then, yeah, this frown gets turned upside down real quick here today, guys. And then Apple, we do have a target out right now in the 90s. I'm really thinking that we can get back up to VWAP, although now that I see this little spot, I don't mind getting some out right here at 60 if we go, but that's a good trade for Apple, 30 cents in the money. And then NEO trying to make its way back up. I don't want to dump this one at all. We'll see if this one can get back to VWAP as well on a hopeful for a NASDAQ bounce back to 15,000. At least one more test is what I'm looking for right now. So good day all around, not fantastic. 90 trades, which is pretty good. And we're negative on EDU, and that's it. I mean, we're negative on EDU and NEO so far today. So Tesla and SoFi. Well, SoFi's negative, and this one, yeah, look at that. That was in that disaster break of 15. I'm looking to get longer on this one, but again, I think if the market rebounds, we got the right names on board now with Apple and NEO and GE.
Yeah, I mean, GE is the one that I stuck with. I already took Tesla off, but that Zila, reload on Zila as it gets back into that cluster, took some out of 310. I can tell you that OBSV, that now sits in the teens, guys. So that's sitting about 33 cents in the money. I'll take some more shares out in the teens, some in front of $3. Before we get out of here, one thing we always do, and don't forget, come right back at 315. It is going to be a fantastic close. With that lineup of earnings, you know there's going to be activity. But let's see what national day it is, Miss V.
Hey guys, it was a busy morning so far. Thank you very much for watching and for trading with us. I hope you've been able to find some great opportunities on the market. Before you leave, guys, please make sure you like this video. Your support is super important to us. And happy National Creme Brulee Day, everyone. I have no idea how to pronounce it.
Creme brulee. You did a pretty good job
cool.
pronouncing that there. You get the thing about the creme brulee is you get the torch. You get to torch that stuff up there and make that nice crema real nice and frothy and hard. So you hit the spoon in there and it cracks. So that's a good one there. We like creme brulee. You guys?
I absolutely love it. You know, our friend, shout out to Amar, who lives in Texas, who makes it himself, and he's fantastic. The dude's like a surgeon, and he's also a ridiculously good chef, but good to have a good friend like that. I love creme brulee. I'll eat it 10 times out of 10, but look forward to getting into a restaurant where you can actually get it for some fine dining as opposed to having to buy it and eat it at home. It's always better, I think, in a restaurant with the experts preparing creme brulee. That's just me. Brennan?
Pass.
What?
Miss V?
Too much sugar for Brendan, guys. That was an
love
easy one.
I'll take Brandon's one.
Done.
Okay, so we'll take 4, and Neil.
I'll eat yours.
Neil and I'll split the other one. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do that. Well, we got to give it to our. Hey, shout out if you guys have the camera ready. I see Joe
my
Cool
God.
over there. There he is. What up, Rob? Yeah. So Rob killing it over there as per usual. GE starting to go to the upside, but it's been a good show, guys. We're banging it out right now, so we can turn this frown upside down. The dark clouds were ominous. You guys were right. Took some ibuprofen. Your boy's all good right now, so it'll be a big afternoon. Join us back at 3:15, and we'll make some crazy videos for you right now as well.
100% right down the line. We got the green on Miss V, but I don't think this market's going to get green on the session today. We'll take a lot for Miss
There
V,
goes
for
Neo.
Brennan.
All right.
Fantastic interview as always. I'm Neil Roberts, and for Sean Katina, Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live. See you at the close.
Bye, guys.